Hello. Happy Thursday, April 30th, 2026. This is Happy Birthday Month Boo, gift number 4. I didn't find what I was looking for when we last left our heroine. Not the kind you smoke, but when we last left our hero, I guess. I was promising to find a video that I promised one of my muses, Whitney Cummings, on her last video. And it was this is the last video, and it was this promises. I had a lot of great comments here, by the way. If you ever want to find where a lot of my comments are, here it is. Oh my God! I promised I would find my video on quantum mechanics and the Sudokus too. I'll do that and throw it in with the other spaghetti in my spaghetti video just for you. I'll reference this podcast and everything. You're welcome. So this isn't the spaghetti video, which is going to be number 6. That's the last one. But this is number 4. I didn't find that video, but I'm still making this gift number 4 because, before we do anything, sorry about this. Let's do this real fast. We also left gift number 3 was the proof of service on the LAPD. Just very quickly, since then, I got the filed stamp. Now, lawyers would know this. I submitted it I submitted it to the court, but it's not really official until the court sends it back to you file stamped. And I just got it by email. It's file stamped. It should be up on the docket today or tomorrow. That's all I wanted to show right there. So bye to that. And then, okay, so this is done. We're going to close this down. So I went searching for it. I said I'd give myself an hour. I'm really on a tight time schedule because I need to submit everything before I go to work, and that's in less than 3 hours now. So what I did find when I went to look, what did I find? Here's this and that. Okay, so let's just delete this, and we're going to delete that. And then what I did find was a video from March 22nd, 2024. It's around this time when I did that, and I'll file that other Sudoku. It's because she was talking about quantum mechanics, and it really does tell you the whole story of quantum mechanics and the problem, and I torpedoed the whole thing based on Sudokus, blah, blah, blah. It's really good, but I'll post it later. I have no time today. I did find a video when I looked into this, and it was all about tobacco swamp stuff, which is perfect timing because one of the boost security advice things I'm going to give to anybody interested in having fun, ushering in world peace is, I think tobacco swamp is the most powerful right now, and so I think we need to focus on. We'll talk about this a little bit later. Maybe why not just talk about it now while we're doing spaghetti? Might as well. If you're just a low life like me, or at any level, the crowdsourcing rules, the highly connected, the medium stars, what we need to do now, and what I think Trump is focusing on, is legalizing marijuana. It's the number one thing that the tobacco swamp does not want. And right now, I think they're putting a lot of money into this. And he's trying to, I think what you do is you try to form a Congress that is pro-legalization at the federal level. It's very critical that at the federal level of legalizing pot, and then that will be the final nail in the coffin of the tobacco swamp, which is the strongest swamp right now, and it doesn't seem to be able to kill this swamp off. We don't seem to be able to do this. And they're also the most dangerous for boost security, I believe. And I'll explain a little bit more like that later. But I happened upon this video, which I posted only to Twitter, which means when that Twitter account, H. Nicole Young 111, went down, this went with it. And I haven't posted this video to YouTube. So I'm posting it now. I'm going to post it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my Flixier editing program. I'm going to finish this little doohickey that I'm doing and then edit this video. It's an hour and a half long onto the end of it. And it starts out, hello, happy Friday, March 22nd, 2024. This morning before I went to work, I noticed a post by... So March 22nd, 322, it's nice. It's an odd and an even. And I like 22 because it's 11 doubled. So it's kind of like an even number that I accept. And one is kind of a compromise with my boo who's an even. I'm an odd and she's an even. So 322 is good, but look what else happened. I just got through saying in the last video that the song called The Bones by Maren Morris has become my theme for April. And it's because I'm forming the bones, the structure of my YouTube website that I'm going to be refining for the rest of my life. And it's where both I and anybody interested in what I'm trying to do can go. But as I'm doing this, I call it this, why it's the bones, because the theme of the song is if the bones are good, the rest doesn't matter. And it has to do with our relationship as well as my work right now. And I'm trying to set up the bones, which is, you set up the foundation, and I'm done it. I've done it. I'm pretty sure by the time I'm done with video number 6, gift number 6 today, I really have set up the bones, and now it's just a matter of filling stuff in. So then I come to here, and look what I see over here. I forgot what my little donkey was. It says, I'm a blogger for constitutional law issues and a self-proclaimed and soon to be acclaimed forensic grammaticist. I just made up that name. Like the bones of grammar. The bones. And what I'm talking about is that TV series Bones. Remember that? That was fantastic. And she was really investigative, and I loved that series until they started smoking in season 3. I had a fit about it on Twitter a long time ago. Whatever. It really depressed me on that one. But I still love the series, and I am the bones of grammar. But there's the bones. And now I just got through doing this yesterday. Kelly just got through doing this. Okay, so I am going to post this on Flixier. I'm giving myself till 6:30. Oh God, I got to get through this. Okay, it'll be fine. I'll have time. Boy. Okay, so I'm trying to. So this video will be posted, tacked on in Flixier, and it'll be on the end of this. Okay, bye. But just yesterday, on a video at the Kelly Clarkson show, she and Helen J. Shen, I think she's in The Devil Wears Prada. I think that comes out tomorrow. But they freak out over these blind boxes. And what happened was Kelly got a little caricature with a kite, and she got all excited, and she says, "Oh, I picked the right one," because she has a kite tattoo, and the kite is her favorite song by her favorite singer. And then Helen got a little devil for the movie Devil Wears Prada. And they got so excited, and it was hilarious. And I just sent the comment yesterday, laughing my ass off over this. And I promised not to swear, huh? And that was cute. And that's what reminded me of what just happened here with the bones. It's like it just came up. I was looking for a video. I was looking for gift number 4, and that's that video. I didn't have time to go through it, but I did. I didn't have time to go through the whole video at all. I was looking for the Sudoku stuff, and it's around this time. But I am posting that video. It's important for Tobacco Swamp stuff, and it doesn't matter what videos I have. Everything I say is always 100% spot on, and I'm always very proud to see it. And I'm going to rewatch this later, but I'm going to post it before I even rewatch it, okay? Because it's very important for some reason coming up right now to my subconscious, and the same kind of stuff going on here that had them choose this. There is something subconscious. There's something going on in the future that we're going to understand more. But part of it was finding the bones in that little description to post that video. So this is the correct video to post. Happy birthday number 4, baby girl. But in the meantime, before I do this, in that video, there was I was describing a lot of stuff going on with the Tobacco Swamp, and then this redheaded guy shows up, and he's a big part of this. He's a part of a swamp, I'm pretty sure. He was rigged to be there before that truck went by, and I have the whole story. But he's redheaded, and I have a whole description of that in my number 6. I'm going through redheaded stuff. Okay, so I'm just putting him here because, or maybe I'll just throw him over here because there's a whole bunch of redheaded stuff over here. Okay, now where did I go though? Okay, so another thing, I have about 7 more minutes to go through this, and what I want to discuss is my other muses. Okay, so I just got through talking about Whitney Cummings, and I want to address some more stuff to my muse. For instance, right now while we're here, I deleted it, but during her last video, this is for you, Whitney. This is for you, and other people like Kelly can relate to this. She was like, what the hell? As soon as I start to believe something online, something else comes up, and then and I don't know what to believe anymore. or this is what you do. I want to describe something that happened. It had to do with physics, and it had to do with 9/11, which was my defense contractor swamp stuff. So I was doing I have a 9/11 website, and maybe I need to make a 9/11 video, which I will do soon. But and in that thing, I took a deep dive. So Rosie O'Donnell, in around 2006 or 2007, challenged all scientists to come on and try to figure out what happened on 9/11. And I took up the challenge, and I decided to take a deep dive into it. And I got so deep that when I was publishing stuff online, I attracted a major swamp creature. Her name was Judy Wood. I didn't realize it at the time. She was a physicist, and she was a main, what we call the 9/11 truther at the time. And she was a physicist, a PhD physicist. But, I should have, and I think she was hired by Raytheon. So what happens in this day and age right now, when there's a lot of changes, we're at a precipice. There's a kind of a, God, I can't find these words. They used to come to me quickly. I don't know what the deal is with the words. It could be mental stuff. I'm not sure, people. For the future, I'm thinking it's because my brain is so full of stuff that I can't find simple words, but I never had this problem before. It's like a simple word. We're at the precipice. All right, it doesn't matter. I'm going too fast is the thing. We need to take my time, and I need to make this point. It's kind of important. It's advice to Whitney Cummings, and I'll give you an anecdote. I was taking a deep dive into the 9/11 stuff, and I never contacted Judy Wood. Okay, I contacted, actually, let's just go there. What am I doing? Rock. When I refine my website later, I'm going to have categories for the swamps as well. I'm going to have all sorts of different categories. And the category for the defense contractor swamp, it's going to be like a definitive up to now website and definitive video to follow it. And those are going to be the first two kind of things that I talk about in my playlist for defense contractor swamp, for instance. This is going to be the definitive website I have. I have a definitive website that kind of explains every swamp, really. I didn't do that on purpose, but so this is the definitive website, and I don't have the definitive video yet. I guess this might be something like it. And this is the definitive website on it, and I disallowed comments, but in the comments section, I'm recommending this website to you, Whitney Cummings, and everybody else, because the comment I'm leaving, here's a summary. Dr. Judy Wood, she's right about it being physically impossible to turn the World Trade Center towers to dust from gravity alone. She's right that the directed energy technology could possibly turn concrete to dust, but she's wrong that directed energy technology can turn steel to dust. Okay, it can't. And turning steel to dust is a chemical process requiring a chemical reaction, i.e., nanothermite, not a physical process, which is what directed energy technology is. I believe Dr. Judy Wood is a puppet for Raytheon, which is trying to pretend secretly to the world leaders that it has developed a high-powered directed energy weapon that could turn steel buildings into dust. Well, there you go, people. Your taxpayer money hard at work paying off slime balls in the defense industry, defense contractor swamp, who are worse than snake oil salesmen. So be it. This wouldn't happen if women made up at least 50% of Congress. Men are so stupid when it comes to snake oil, especially the bang, bang, boom, boom kind of snake oil. Dr. Stephen Jones, and I had some other things about him. He's another plant. But I'm glad we came through this, because she did a whole thing on women, and I said one of the solutions, and I said I'm just voting for any woman running like Hillary Clinton at the time or whatever, because we needed just women. I didn't care about their politics. I didn't care about anything, but we also needed them in. I had a whole thing at that time. I remember, when was this? This is 2012, but even before then, I was doing a lot of stuff at a place called Shoes for Industry. This is back to 2006. Because I posted the original letter at 2007. By the way, 2010-14 on 10-15-07, I was arrested and spent the next 3 months in jail. And this is what I was talking about. I post this, and then maybe the FBI protected me there and just kept me in jail for the next 3 months. Because this was, I mean, if you read this, you're like, damn, I'm just like putting a target on my head. But I'm glad I read this for you, Whitney Cummings, because this is what happened with Dr. Judy Wood. And this is what happens, especially with the defense contractor, and they're doing that right now. They, everybody does it. I call it, what did I used to call this? I used to call it gay Nazi training exercises or something like that. They train you, they'll drop an absolute truth, like Dr. Judy Wood, an absolute expert, absolute truth, and you go, yeah, that's right. And then you believe her, and then because of the way we are as humans, and this is not, there's no fault of anybody. You have your kids, you have other shit. You don't have time to figure out who to trust. So you trust her, and then the purpose of her, it's a bait and switch. They'll tell the truth, and then at a certain point, they'll curve off into a lie. And that's what they're trying to get the sheep going. And now, I mean, Russell Brand does this, what's his name? And who else? There's a whole bunch of people, they'll do this. So it's up to you if you're trying to weed through this, especially you, like truthers who just want to do this. If you don't want to do this, don't worry about it right now. Focus on your kids, focus on your work. Everything's going to be okay. It's just if you want to have fun like me, if you want to have fun like anybody, when at this precipice, it's so much fun if you're trying to seek the truth and trying to get world peace to come in faster. And we need to do it, and we also if you're interested in keeping yourself alive, if you're like the top level kind of celebrities and these kind of people. But if you're just like me, well, I'm also probably a target by this point, but it's just fun. So what you have to do is you have to figure out what the truth is that the gay Nazi people are putting out, and then where the lie comes in. And once you decide that, it really helps. So this is what I did with her. I'm talking to her. I don't contact her. She is on to me all of a sudden. I'm getting 3 views, right? Why is Dr. Judy Wood getting 3 million views on all her videos, reaching out to me, with 2 views, right? So because they sicked her on me. And we're talking literally 5 hours on the phone on certain nights where we're going over this stuff, and it was really true what she was talking about. And then at one point, she says, oh, that was just like the moon landing where they faked it. And I said, I haven't looked into it, but I kind of tend to buy it, and I promised to look into it. But I'm pretty sure I'm decided that it really did happen. But she went off on me, and that was the last phone conversation we had. Like, I can't be friends with you if you can't like see that the moon landing was fake. What they want to do is they want to get all these people who are on the truth to start spewing about the moon landing so that they lose people, spewing about aliens so that they lose people, or getting them to go this way so that you go, wow, that sounds true, but then she gets crazy, and you're seeing the same pattern from, what is this now? 20 years ago, 2006, I saw this pattern. When I was talking to her, this isn't 2000, I posted this 2012 because I had to repost it, but I think it was 2006, 2007, 20 years ago. It's the same pattern that's been happening for 3,000 years. Okay, the people in control of the media, in control of the gay Nazis, in control of the media, and in control of information, the gatekeepers will see that the truth is leaking out. And they can't have it. So they go after the people seeking the truth, and then they try to get everybody to follow this certain person to follow them off the cliff. And she was one of them. She's absolutely working for Raytheon. And I thought she was a real truth person because of the first stuff she came out. The physics of how the buildings could not fall that way, spot on. Okay? And because I'm a scientist, I'm able to do this. I'm able to ferret it out. So I'm helping you other people by doing this. I mean, if you trust what I say, don't even trust what I say. But I'm saying, so I pointed it out to you that she was for Raytheon. And what triggered me now I haven't even looked into the moon landing stuff, because you can use this information in your interactions with these people. So once I decided she was a plant and she was spewing some truths and some BS, it became very clear to me that if I wasn't going to follow her to believe that the moon landing was fake, she didn't want to talk to me anymore. And I said, oh, the moon landing is real. I mean, do you see how I sort of did that? So that's what, I'm sorry, for Whitney Cummings, yes, do your own thing, listen to what I'm saying, and believe and not believe. But you have a specialty that I don't have. Like you have experiences, you have a talent, and I don't have that. And this is where crowdsourcing rules comes in. You personally have to decide what your rock is, like what you believe is true. And then you listen to people who start to do that, and then when they go off and they try to do something that, if they try to convince you, so once you believe something is absolutely true, anybody trying to convince you or get angry with you for not believing that, you watch them, because then whatever they're spewing is not true. It's very difficult. Oh my God, this is so funny. Anyway, this is for you, Whitney Cummings, because this video is gift number 4 for my boo, but it's also kind of I'm also going to clump in my Wordle muses and my other muses. The last number 6 is going to be a Trump kind of thing, because I'm going to discuss, and number 5 is going to be my boo, mostly because it's just the rom-com list. Okay, so we're almost there. We're going to do this very quickly, but I'm glad I came across this because it's really important to everything going forward. Because you don't, for instance, start to, like, I have the gaydar, right? And you're going, how can I tell who's gay? Well, I'll tell you right now, if you're interested in helping Trump to get marijuana legalized at the federal level, just start to do that. And online and in person and everywhere, you're going to have people coming at you, especially Congress people. Whatever Congress people come at you and say, that's just like blah, blah, blah. And it's very dangerous to do that. Legalize marijuana, and yet cigarettes are legal. I mean, I'm not even going to get into it. I'm just telling you now, they're probably gay. They're probably gay, or they're full of BS. So anything else they say, don't believe it, even though some things could be truthful. And if you're sure it's truth, listen to it, because a lot of times these people will give up the truth. And that you can get a lot of truth this way too, by the way. I'm not an expert. I wasn't quite an expert in the physics behind this, but enough science to know that she was really telling a lot of the truth here. And then, so you can get some truths from them. And she did reveal some things that they probably didn't want to reveal, but they had to, because they start to retreat. It's like a war going on. It's an information war. And boy, the stuff that they retreat on is amazing lately. Like, they'll retreat just to get the truth. And then once they get people on board, and then they'll try to veer them off to the lies. The truth that they have to put out now, more and more of the truth, is amazing. It's like they uncover the truth, and you just go, okay, great. Without even having to lift a finger, the truth is coming out that way. And eventually it's going to all come out that way. But it's coming out by the very people who were telling lies to begin with, because it's the only thing they've got right now. They're really in retreat. They're imploding. They have to tell the truth to get people to try to believe them, because they're losing credibility all over the place. So I don't know how to, I mean, I'm just telling you, Whitney, you're going, God, please, I don't know how much of it is comedic and how much of it is truth, but trust your instincts and don't worry about it, whether it's true or not, because if you just sit down long enough, the truth will come out. But in the meantime, I get it, because you want to have fun. This is really fun. It's fun as hell right now, because it is like the first time in all of human history there's shit going down, and you could be a part of it. Like, really, even more critical and bigger than, like, Jesus, bigger than Shakespeare, bigger than, bigger than every event in history is happening right now. Okay, on April 30th, 2026, which I'm calling year 1 with the calendar I just posted, right? All right, so let's just get on, because, oh my God, I am really going over on this, but it's fine. It is gift number 4, and I'm dressing Whitney Cummings on this, and I'm recommending this on my new website. As I said, it's listed. This is listed on my website on the YouTube, but it's all these websites at the end somewhere. And I hate saying find it, because now I'm not going to say find it. I'm going to say find it on my front page under the Defense Contractor Swamp playlist. Eventually, I wasn't able to do all that today. Okay, so buy Rock USA, and this guy is over here. So now, that addressed Whitney Cummings, but not all of it. I have more to address for her. So now I'm going to help my Wordle muses. And what happened with the Wordle muses, what are you doing? What's going on, people? Come on. So the thing about Twitter, which I really miss with, this is for you, Wordle Muses. Okay, I'm addressing all my muses, and most of them. So, dear Wordle Muses, this new format I'm going to eventually put up will have a, like, response to my Wordle Muses, and I might even do a short, 10-second video as I'm walking to work, whatever. I'm not walking to work as much, only 3 days, but just in response to the day's Wordle. Remember, I used to have a response every day, and now I might have a little, in the shorts area. It'll be a short for every day. I'll say, hey, dear, and I'll do it on my phone. Boom, 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 so that it's this format. So I might try to do that because I really miss doing that, and it's hard to do it right now. It's just the way my phone is, and I can't get Wi-Fi on my phone, and it's all very complicated. But once I do that, there will be a section. So this will go into that section. Dear Wordle Muses, and this is related to Kelly because they like remember toadies. They're talking about the toadies. This is Kelly just recently spoke about them too in one of her. Kelly recently spoke about the toadies in one of her shows. I'm not sure. I don't remember. But then Toady comes out. I'm not sure which came first. This came after that. So they're interested in my. I did a Nicolayoke of a Toadie's love song for gifts to my boo. I think it might have been anniversary. I can't find that video. I think I lost it because I think that one is gone. I don't have those videos anywhere. I think I posted them exclusively to Twitter, never to YouTube, and they're not on my phone anywhere because I lost all my phone videos at one point as well. And I don't believe it uploaded to my Google Photos. So I can't find it. I cannot find that. But I think it's just also my Wordle Muses asking about my promise to do. My Wordle Muses, everybody, if you don't know, they constantly want me to do the religion swamp stuff. So the toady goes back to that when I was doing religion swamp work. Yes, there will be a religion swamp playlist, and I will work on that one, and I'm still working on that. I will be uploading those, just not today. And yes, I know I promised that. So that's in response to Toady. I get it, and they want me to work on the religion swamp. But then Lowe's, no, that's not it. No, don't do this. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of Toady. And you see what I just did there? That comes up with drunk. Okay, but then the snore, they catch me snoring. I'm not sure how much of this has to do with me, but yeah, I do fall asleep when I'm doing stuff, and I do wake up catching myself going, and they probably have video of me. And they also say snore because they are going back to the video again, where I fall asleep, and the video records for an hour of me snoring, and all I did was clip out the various parts where I went and moved, and then I was like this for another 30 minutes, and then I went and moved. It was great. It was a fun video. I will get back to that video, and that's what snore was. Then they did tweet and drunk and women and gloss, and what I did was when they did. Okay, so Toady was the 18th. The 24th drunk especially. So tweet is what I answered was I glossed over it and they called me out on it. With tweet, what they wanted me to address was in one of my videos, and they're the only people that watch my video, it seems, and they get these little fine details. They caught a detail where I said, I'll tell you about it later, but I'm done with Elon Musk. For instance, I'm done with him because of his involvement with infantophile stuff. I'm going to get into that in the sixth and last video. Okay, also, I've been avoiding doing all this crap because it just seems like it's so negative, but now I see it's positive, and it is a positive, and I will put it up as a video, and it's because I have a plan, and because, I hate putting up stuff that's so negative, talking about forcible retraction of the foreskin shit, and SIDS, and Elon Musk's, I don't mean to, do a spoiler alert, but his first child died by SIDS, and it was probably because he had so many people coming after that kid. They do forcible retraction on a little baby, and then once they do it, the kid will cry, so they'll smother his nose and then suck the blood. And as they smother the nose, that's where he suffocates and dies of SIDS. And sometimes they do that on purpose. And that's what happened to his first son. Okay, and that's Elon Musk, and how much of it he has to see. Well, that's fine. Let's just do it here because this is all, it's fine. So that's what I've been avoiding. A lot of that shit is going to be in. I've got the receipts for some of it. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to get to it. But the thing is, I'm tired of trying to figure out how much of that he is involved in and how much of it is he's innocent. I keep thinking he's so innocent. He's like a gay man who acts like a non-gay dumbass moron, and it doesn't matter. And I think he got a lot of his money because of all the kids he has. Like, for instance, he did have the next set of sons, and they're redheaded, and I'll get into that. Like, he's into redheaded, he's into having kids, he's into, I'm sure, the cloning shit. And maybe he doesn't realize it, but a lot of his kids are just like huge amounts of money to get to their penises and abuse them, including the very first son he ever had. That was possibly $1 billion to get in there and perform the abuse and also murder him by smothering his little nose. And he did die of SIDS. And it was no accident, and it wasn't anything. That's what happened with Elon Musk's first son. And I'm curious to know if he was redheaded or not, and blue-eyed and all this. I'm not sure, but that's what happened. And there's a connection between that. There's a connection with Epstein, and that's probably what they were doing in addition to, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more if I can get to it. Holy crap, 6:45, 7:08. Anyway, that's fine. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to keep talking and posting until I have to go to work. And it doesn't matter because I'm very happy and everything's starting to fall into place, and it's not negative. What I just said is very sad, but the truth is also going to be freeing. It's very sad. But I did replace Elon with Whitney Cummings simply because I'm not on Twitter anymore. She's my new Twitter, meaning my new place that I go to. Now it's every week instead of every day, but where you can see my comments. You know, that's what I wanted on Twitter. You need to be able to find them. Now, I'm not trusting her because there was a period where they were deleting my comments. I hate that. You know, dear Whitney Cummings, if you can please, at least at your end, now there's some things that you can't control from YouTube, but if you could please control at your end to make sure nothing, actually it's fine. Don't worry about it because I have a new place where I could really say all I want, and that's the YouTube, okay, blah, blah, blah. All right, so that's Elon. He's been replaced. He's no longer my muse. He doesn't impress me anymore. I keep telling him, you cannot get to another planet until we resolve the 16th Amendment and the gay Nazis, because they're just going to, every single sabotage he's had has been a sabotage. It hasn't been an accident. He's being sabotaged constantly by angry gay men. You really think I'm going to get on one of your fucking rockets to go to Mars? They'll kill each other before they get there. And when they do get there, it's going to be fucking, you need to resolve what I'm doing right now. We need to get rid of the 16th Amendment. We need to usher in inevitable world peace, and then we will be on Mars faster than you can know it. It's going to be a whole renaissance in science and art, but you can't get there with his stupid comments. Oh, I think we should remove this judge. You know, he doesn't have any concept of the Constitution because he was raised elsewhere, which is another reason. He's like Alexander Hamilton, though, except in that he's not a fucking asshole like a lot of the gay men born here become assholes. It's because he was away from all this religion crap as a gay man, but he's also completely different from Alexander Hamilton, and that he can't not buy a fucking clue about the fundamental laws of peaceful self-governing. And it's very frustrating. I'm done. I'm working now with Whitney Cummings. I'd rather work with somebody who is truly open to trying to get to where we're going. He has different goals in mind, and I think he got a lot of his money because his kids. So let's just go really quickly with the redheaded stuff. He had twin sons, and they were both, I'm sure, abused. And one of them turned out to be gay, and I'm sure that's the kind that isn't born gay. I'm sure the one that turned out gay that he's talking about, who always has red hair, by the way, I don't think he was born blonde, but he dyes his hair red. He has a trans woman son. That is an example of the made gay person. They could be born gay or they could be made gay. And the ones that are made gay turn out to be gay Nazis, and they perpetuate this thing for the last 11,000 years. If we get rid of them, I believe we can live with gays and gays can live, and I hope they survive. I used to say, we can't survive. White people cannot survive as long as gay white men are also there. It's not true. We can survive with gays. They're very talented, and I hope Mother Nature wins out and makes it so that we cannot get rid of the ones that are naturally born gay because it's too complicated. We can get rid of the ones that we make. We have to stop forcible retraction of the foreskin people. bad news all the way around. Okay, so we're going to separate that out. That's fine. But Elon Musk is like an example of all this. I have a million examples of this, all this stuff. Okay, I'm not sure we'll get to it, but let's just use Elon Musk. And that's why I'm just tired of him. I'm trying to figure out whether he's innocent or whether, and it's like, you're gone. I'm done with Twitter. I'm done with, he's not a muse. Whitney Cummings has replaced him as the muse that triggers comments by me. And as somebody that I'm trying to, somebody in power. I think she has I think she probably has way more power than Elon Musk at this point. That guy's so, but, and who's truly looking for the truth. And it's a woman too. So anyway, so I'm glad. So when that's everything I had in mind, and that's what, and my Wordle muses see me doing this shit, and they want me to talk about that, and I just did for you. I've just been avoiding it. So that's when tweet came up, and I'm like, la la la, and I kind of glossed over it, and I made a video and pretended like the first thing that came to my mind was something else. The very first thing that came to mind was Elon Musk, and they wanted me to talk about that video where I said, I don't want to talk about it, but I'm done with Elon Musk. They were curious about that, so they put tweet. And then they put drunk, and I said, I don't get drunk, and blah, 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 and I glossed over it. What they wanted, this is what they wanted me to do. They were wondering about my rom-com list, and the first thing I thought when I saw drunk was Punch Drunk Love, and Adam Sandler and Emily Watson. Not even cutish, we're going to go over this. Same mentality, warped, challenged Adam Sandler character with rage issues. Did not finish. Now, Adam Sandler does finally have one rom-com, I believe, that is on my top 66 list that survived, but he has so many things. He is so talented, and we're going to talk about that in the rom-com stuff, but that's what drunk was. That wasn't, I don't know what that, it wasn't me. They weren't asking me if I'm drunk or not. They wanted me to talk about Punch Drunk Love, and they wanted me to talk about this. And I just did not, I wasn't ready to talk about all the pedophile disqualifications I have on my rom-com list, and there's a ton of them. And that could go on forever. And we're gonna end this video at 7 because I have 2 more to do, and I'm not 7, 8, 9. Okay, it's fine. Okay, so that's what they meant by Punch Drunk Love. And we're gonna keep up this. We're gonna keep this up actually because I'm gonna be on there in a minute. So that's what they meant. What did they have? We did tweet. Okay, bye. Then we did drunk, and then the next one was woman, and you guys get a A, B, C, D, E, F, U because I didn't get that. By the way, there's certain ways to solve this, and mine is just the fastest way possible. I'm not doing anything logical. It's the quickest way possible, even if I don't win it. So a lot of times, I'm just tired of trying to guess, or sometimes I will take the time. But you know, I'm breaking all these rules because I'm trying to solve it in 10 seconds. So that's why a lot of times. But women. So women was this. What they wanted me to talk about was this. Did you come up? Oh no, they called me out. They said I'm glossing over everything just recently, and I said, okay, I'm going to get in depth right now. So that's answering that one. But what was the women? Let's do women. Okay, women. This was not last Good For You podcast, but the time before, published 8 days ago. And they wanted me to comment or expand upon this, or at least read it into a video, because a lot of times if it's in writing, it doesn't show up anywhere on YouTube or in the atmosphere. So I'm going to read this about women, and it was another good podcast. And I said, man, a lot of I really like my comments over here. Everybody come over here to Whitney Cummings and read my comments. From what I read, and I'm going to read this out because it applies to Kelly. It applied because these women get a certain way. It's because it's very hard to get advice from people. You have to go 100% taking no advice. Okay, so and then the 2 or 3 times that you are wrong, you get punished for it, and it's just it's an evil, stupid cycle, and it's going to be broken going forward because we're going to get rid of the gay men who are causing this kind of like you have to it's tightrope, and you get punished 10 times more for the tiniest little mistakes. It's just not a way to go through life. And it's very hard on women, but there will be a future. I'm just going to read this comment, and then that'll be done with, they just called me out, a crock of shit, which would be, okay. And then we'll be done with the video. Okay, so then I'm done with, gloss. I already talked to you guys about gloss. And which one is this? Woken. And, I need to close some of these windows. I'm just going to read this, and then we're almost done to the end. And I'll be done by 7. Okay, This is all related, everybody. From what I read, most of the missing scientists, that's not it. That's not it. That is related to what I just read though about the defense contractor swamp stuff. The missing scientist is the defense contractor swamp trying to sell you snake oil that the directed energy weapons are really powerful. Like they said, oh, some of those scientists disappeared, had directed energy weapons targeted against them, and they're trying to sell, the defense contractor swamp is trying to sell Congress some. We need to invent things to defend against directed energy weapons. Directed energy weapons are huge. They're bulky. They weren't able to turn them into small stuff, and it's not practical at all. And maybe they will be someday, but I don't think so. I think it's like trying to you get to a point in cloning and you can't do stuff because Mother Nature's that way, and it's just a fact of life. So, but they sell it like that, and that's what they're trying to do right now with the missing scientists. Another thing is the scientists are missing, but they're missing for manipulating weather. They're missing for controlling the fires. They made things dry, and then they had this wind for the fires in LA. That's the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. And they're coming out and saying, yeah, we can do that, and we did do that. We did the fires in Australia a while ago. We did the fires in Paradise. Remember that? When they burnt down all the marijuana crops because the tobacco swamp collaborated with the defense contractor swamp. And these are people from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. They've been doing this shit for years locally. And then they also do hurricanes. They do weather. They used to do the tornadoes, which we have no more. Remember, we had the big one. And then they used to do hurricanes, which we have no more, because we can control the weather for good instead of for evil. Okay, so and they also do plane crashes. So we're going to get into that a little bit later. I would tell you right now, if you are a celebrity and you have little kids and you have a lot of money, don't get into a smaller aircraft. They now are unable to really crash huge aircrafts, but a small thing that seats 60 or less is now susceptible to crashes and things, but especially like a private jet. Don't get on that plane without your kids, because the kids are the money. They're killing you so that you try to leave money to your kids, but it goes straight to the family court swamp and then in the probate court swamp, and that's how they take your money. Okay, so if you're going to get on a plane, Kelly, if you can, try not to get on a small commuter or a private jet or anything without your kids, because otherwise there's a very high risk that plane's going to go down and it kill you from the defense contractor swamp. They do this, okay, so that's all. That's all. That's that advice. Okay, what makes you, Whitney, so genuinely successful in my book, which is the only one that counts, trust me, but also don't trust anybody who says trust me, is that you always did things on your own. Don't kick yourself for not taking advice on the 10% of things you needed advice on, when 90% of the advice given to you at the time was bad and not in your best interest anyway. Besides, it was way too time consuming to figure out which of the 10% of advice was the good stuff. You did the right thing with the fish. Like, she's just like, you do make mistakes because anyway, you have good instincts, so keep trusting them. Don't feel bad about any quote unquote mistakes you made in the past. The internet is going to change this, by the way, and has been changing this drastically, because now instead of having to depend on people, you just look online and there's just so much stuff. How do I do this? There's a YouTube video for it. How do I do this on the computer? There's a YouTube video for it. It's just fantastic. We are in the middle. Don't be sad, anybody. I saw some of these actors now, like I saw Meryl Streep, and she seemed a little bit depressed when she's still like anti-Trump and anti-man. Just, we're going to be okay. We're going to heal. And your legacy is still there. And I'll describe it later when I describe, like, well, you're fine. Just, we're going to heal. Okay? And it's not, we're all guilty of doing shit. We're all guilty of being, of helping infantophiles do this shit. We all are. So as a race, we're going to have to get together and heal on this. But don't feel bad. Also, if you're bashing Trump and then you find out later that you're on the wrong side of history, just lie and said that you were involved in 5D chess moves with him. Nobody knows who's involved in 5D chess moves, where Trump actually hires actors to pretend like they hate him so that he does all sorts of shit, and nobody would know the difference. That's you. I would say Barbara Streisand. Just like I had her Yentl. Oh my God. Do you guys believe that she directed Yentl at freaking 40 years old? She was just a baby, 40 years old. What is any of us doing at 40? She's directing Yentl. And I did everything possible to get that freaking movie on my top 66 list, but I couldn't do it anymore because I have to knock everything off that has smoking in it. It's just consistent, and I'm sorry. So, and then I also might have to knock it off my top 111 list because as better rom-coms and movies come up. But one of the things in the rom-coms, and we'll talk about while we're here talking about Yentl, is I didn't realize this until later. I saw this pattern where I had an aversion toward character there's a misunderstanding, but then the characters let it go on. It's very gay. And I got tired of it, and it really ruined the chemistry. But her misunderstanding was different. So it's very gay when the misunderstanding is to lie to a potential lover into believing you're something you're not, all the way to having sex with them. That's very gay because they try to lie. They try to pretend like they're women. They want to trick the non-gay man into having sex with them, thinking that they are a woman. This kind of shit in the rom-com just turned me off. And I noticed, I looked at my top 11, and none of them had this kind of rom-com situation where they're like, there's always misunderstandings and stuff. But the misunderstanding in Yentl was very different. She pretended to be a guy for knowledge and for education, and that was much better. It really led to some really great sexual tension. It led to issues of gay between man and man, gay between woman and woman. And she filmed it. It was just a fucking brilliant movie, and it killed me to knock it down. I wanted to put it at top 11. I can't. There's too many. My top 11 is solid, and it's a musical, and it's not really. So it's top 66. But I had to move it down a notch to top 111, and I believe because anything that's written about tobacco, because there's a lot of tobacco smoking, there's a lot of cigar smoking, there's just too much now. I can't take it, but I really fought for that, and I don't want to be political that way going forward. I really want people to have complete confidence that that every tobacco instance is going to be marked, and it is in the comments, and as promised, it cannot be on my top 111 list eventually. Right now, I didn't have enough movies that were cute. Anyway, we'll describe this later, but Yentl, I love you. And dear Barbara Streisand, I know you've been hating on Trump for so long, and you're going to find out it's a mistake possibly before you go. And the same with Bette Midler. Both of you guys, so freaking talented. I love you so much. And you're going to see later with Robert De Niro, he's in one of the most pedophile movies without realizing it that I've ever seen. But his talent, when I was in jail, he makes me cry. For City by the Sea, I promise you, because I am everybody. I promise you, talented people who have been hating on Trump, it's not going to matter unless you want to. It's not going to matter to me, and I'm everybody. But it's going to start to matter if from now on you keep doing this. And if you want to come out, all you say later, it's so easy. Is you just kind of hint that you were in the middle of a 4D chess move. Trump asked you specifically. And I'm sure he's done this. I'm sure he's done this with so many actors. You could tell us like, no, you are way too smart to be going that far. And at least Barbara Streisand and Bette Midler and these guys stopped doing. They got rid of their gay Nazi asshole tweet guy who in charge. So that's a good step. But if you want to come back and join us on this fun ride, you don't have to not bash Trump. Of course you bash him where he wants you to bash him. Bash him on abortion. He needs the strength against the worst enemies for him are the Republicans, the non-abortion. Bash him on marijuana. Bash him on the big one, capital punishment. Bash him where he needs to be bashed and where he wants to be bashed, okay? And just stop with he's racist, I hate it. Stop it, unless he's telling you specifically to do that. Knock it off. Join the fun. Okay, what he's doing is really great, and you are on the wrong side of history, and you don't have to feel bad, and it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt your talent. It really isn't. I mean, you're just so talented. And as I said, I'm everybody. I love you. It doesn't affect me at all that you bash my boss and my number one muse after my girl, Kelly, okay? So this is your way out of this. Just don't bash whatever. It's just, there's a certain attitude, and I don't want you to be sad about it. Okay, and really, this is the one thing you stop. Unless Trump tells you to do this, don't go, these times are so, it's just a freaking whistle, whatever that is. What's that called? A cat call, whatever. The whistle is, oh, in these times. It's just an anti-Trump statement. Stop saying that, in these times. You're looking stupid unless you're working for Trump. You're looking stupid. These times are the most exciting freaking times in the history of humankind. And you're coming out, these hard times. Come on. Come on. Get out of it. I just watched Meryl Streep and they're all depressed. I mean, it was a good movie. The Devil Wears Prada, the first one was a good one. 2 looks like it might be okay, but it might be kind of like, it has this anti-Trump shit, and these are hard times. And they advertise the movie that way. It's going to probably bomb because we're all tired of it. It's bullshit that these are bad times. These are the best freaking times. Stop coming out and go, we really need this movie in these hard times. Well, maybe it is hard times because we're realizing that we've been allowing forcible retraction of the foreskin. Well, if that's true, come out and say it. If you're a star, you say, boy, this circumcision shit, these are hard times. We have to really heal. Don't say, oh, these are hard times because our president is racist. Holy shit. Knock it fucking off. Knock it off. I promise not to swear. Well, that one came out naturally, so we're okay. But at least I'm not swearing at somebody. That's a good step. Maybe I'll stop the other swearing, but the calling names, that's probably stopping because I don't feel good about doing that anymore. So I'm still swearing, but in a good way. All right. So okay. So let's go on with the women thing. It's the fact that women hate. Okay, you have good instincts, so keep trusting them. Don't feel bad about any mistakes you made in the past. The internet is going to change this, by the way, and has been changing this drastically. All successful, talented women above a certain age face this problem, but it's not going to be this way forever, not even for very much longer. So hang in there, Whitney Cummings. Hang in there, Meryl. Hang in there, everybody. Barbara Streisand. Oh, she also had her birthday. Oh, with Kelly. Okay, nice. I love Yentl. I love also your personality in all of the rom-coms you've done. They're really good, and it's your personality. It's the guys, man. You carried it, but I can't call it cute when the second half of the romance is stupid. There was one. I was like, God, that guy was annoying. Your character is like, damn. You could just get almost any guy opposite you. The character was very romantic. Like you would be really good. You're just a really good character. I'm just impressed by you. And please don't let any of this stuff ruin it's not going to ruin your art. But I just want you to have fun in your last years of life, okay? And I don't want you to be murdered. So maybe what you're doing is actually, I shouldn't comment this, but if you're probably wading through, like, you don't want to be murdered, so you're doing whatever gay Nazis are telling you to do. But I think it's time to break out of that, actually. And one way to, so anyway. You have an out. No matter what you do, you have an out later. You could say that you were working with Trump, and he's trying to fool people, and a 5D chess move where he had actors bash him, okay? All right. It's the fact that women, the internet, but it's not going to be this way for very long, so hang in there. It's the fact that women hating gay men have been running everything for millennia. And these assholes, I'm going to stop doing that, but now I'm just reading what was in the past, make successful women pay 10 times more than any man that they usually have a crush on, that any man would have to pay for even the tiniest little mistake the woman makes that involves a decision the woman made without the permission of the gay man or the permission of the non-gay dumbass moron who was controlled by the gay man. By the way, too, closeted gay men who run everything always pick the dumbest woman in the room to lead so that she can be controlled by them. And I did this through the whole fake pandemic Holocaust. They had Anthony Fauci, a non-gay dumbass moron, and then they had this, I forget that woman who was always up there. The dumbest fucking woman on the planet. Blah, 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 going with these conferences over the damn fake pandemic. And I was like, I just fucking shoot me. All the talented scientists, female in the world, and they picked the dumbest woman in the room to be to head with Fauci this whole fake pandemic shit. It's just, Two, truly talented powerful women trying to do something spectacular independent of a closeted gay man nearby, forget about it. Okay, it's not going to happen. It's going to happen maybe after the 16th Amendment falls, and it might happen on a lower level, but on the level she's thinking about, any celebrity woman, any high profile woman, that they're so controlled by gay men, you guys can't do shit. You can't go pee without them knowing about it and controlling you. So it's not going to be that way. Just hang in there. It's not the natural state of things, by the way. This where women fight. It's not fighting. It's just this is the way it is. By the way, 3, it's not the natural. It's highly unnatural, like the friggin' gay gene that has plagued real humanity for 11,000 years. You've probably never worked in a truly collaborative environment that does not have a woman-hating, closeted gay man nearby running everything and pitting people, especially women, against each other, and elevating the dumbest woman in the room. It's a dream if you've ever been involved in this. There were some women doing a movie where they said this, and Kelly, you guys have touched upon it a little bit, where you said, wow, when it was all women. Now, it could be all women who hate on Trump, and that doesn't feel good. When it's all women and they all get together and because they all hate Trump, that's just fake. You guys it's going to be hollow. You're going to feel hollow. You'll know it when it feels right, and most of you probably have never experienced it. It's a dream, especially for truly talented artists, both men and women. As the other thing is, the environment involves non-gay men and non-gay women, because non-gay men, like a lot of the good ones and talented ones, will lift up women. It's just the non-gay white women can't tell when there's a gay white guy there, so they blame, and he's making trouble so that he makes the man. It's just horrible. Anyway, whatever. It's just okay. Talented. Once you experience, especially a talented artist, both men and women, I promise. Hope you can experience that someday. Once you experience it, you will work the rest of your life protecting this type of environment surrounding you, or you will simply refuse to work in any other type of environment. It's going to get there. I'm not holding my breath, though, for wealthy celebrity women, talented or not, until after the 16th Amendment falls. So it may be a while, if ever. For you, dearest, for any of you guys, just, I would say hang in there, but know it's out there, and what you do is, enough. We're done with you. I mean, it's fun if you guys can get involved because you have so much power, but just keep in mind that your daughters are just going to really have a much better time than you, and it should make you happy, just that. So just get out of the depression. I promise you that it's going to be better for your daughters, and we're heading that way. And if you'd like to make it go, just, open your heart to not hating Trump. That's all. Okay. Trust anybody who gets insulted. Okay, hang in there. Okay. So it may be a while, if ever, for you, dearest, my dearest Whitney. Hang in there is the only advice I have. That, and never trust anybody who says, trust me, and never trust anybody who gets insulted when you don't take their advice, or who makes you pay in any way for not taking their advice, even if they gave good advice, which they probably didn't if they get insulted. In that case, what they did was they worked extra hard behind your back to make sure your independent decision was a manufactured mistake. So now you get these people working against you because they're just control freaks. And there's nothing, and it's really hard because, one of the fundamental laws of peaceful self-governing is the right before you're 3 years old, 5 years old, to learn self-discipline and make mistakes and learn from them without being spanked and this kind of shit. Because you learn a love of learning, and the spanking takes that away. So spanking kids, we need to stop that shit, period. Okay, I'm not even gonna fuck around with this shit. Jewish people, by the way, they're very educated, so they know everything I'm saying, and I'm getting pissed off because it's the remember I said in one of the videos, I said the Republicans are kind of like the more conservative. They will die for a cause that they believe is good, but they're just too dumb to know what is good. The freaking Democrats, this kind of thing, they are smart enough to know what is right and wrong. It's just when they become spineless, and I can't stand that anymore. Jewish people, if you're self-preserving and preserving your family, fine. But if you're just trying to fucking whatever, preserve your, I don't know what else. I mean, if it's life or death, fine. But you are smart enough to know that circumcision, everything I'm talking about here, you guys know that there's no kind of, it's for cleanliness and it's for hygiene that we're doing circumcision. You know that there's a natural process for that. and that the circumcision is ruining that, and it's also covering up all this shit. I'm not even gonna. You're just being spineless right now, okay? And some of you are being very brave too, by the way. And I'm telling you, truth will come out in the future. Even the truth now, for people saying they work with Trump, I think that, well, whatever. I mean, who knows? All these lies are going to come out, but maybe not. And maybe you can make a deal with Trump later, where you give him something that he needs, where he comes out and says you've been working with him all along. He will make that deal with you, okay? So, gay Nazi assholes that they are. So in that case, what they did was worked extra hard. Gay Nazi assholes, worse than vampires to stop. So I'm done. Maybe not. I'll say gay Nazi because I don't think that's a swear word, but I think I'm going to stop calling them gay Nazi assholes. We'll see. Whatever comes naturally. I don't care. Okay, worse than vampires to stop, I say. Onward. Okay, so that is to you, Whitney, and that is an answer to the Wordle where they said women. Then, then I didn't get the other Wordles until today. Today's Wordle is croc, and it's in response. It's in response to, oh no, where'd it go? Oh, it's over here. Okay, so this is done. I read that. And I'm going to keep that because I'm going to cover that in the next video. I don't care. Whatever. It's fine. I mean, it's fine. I'm just going to keep talking until I will have 6 gifts for you, though. So I gifted gift number 2 yesterday was this calendar. And I put a comment, like it's not a comment, but it's the description of the video. And then today it's a croc from, I get croc from my Wordle muses because they're calling this, now there could be some other things they're calling a croc, but I think that this is what they're calling a crock of shit. And I'm going to say, guess what? I'm up for the challenge. I will see you to it. I am making an entire website around what I'm writing here. So croc yourself. Oh yeah, it's not a croc. And part of it is I have on my website, you have a description, and right now I'm saying something like gay men, whatever. This right here is going to eventually be some form of the new, it's going to be the new description when I do a whole new thing. All right? Crock yourself. So I'm just telling you that right now. And I'm going to read it right now because I'm going to refine it and I'm going to maybe change my mind on some of this, but I'm reading it right now. It is not a crock. What I'm saying is I take your challenge to spend the rest of my life developing this, that it's not a crock, this thing. Humankind's future calendar. Look at that. It's kind of cool. Humankind's future calendar is not as scary as it seems. When I first came up with this calendar not too long ago, I just said, whatever, just plotted out the easiest thing I could think of. And I did, just for you Jewish people, you might notice I eliminated Sunday because that's gone. And the religion swamp is going to dive. The first thing to go is the Christians because that's all bullshit. Because there is no hell. Nobody believes in hell anymore. And you can't have Christianity unless there's a hell and Jesus to save you. And he was made up, and they do have some good aspects of it, but not as much as... It's just horrible. Even the love yourself is whatever. It's horrible. The people are fantastic, and the ones who, the ones who want to do good and this kind of thing. But the whole religion is going to be gone. That's why I kept Saturday, because that is the Jewish Sabbath. Sunday's gone in the future. It's Christianity. Jewish people, I think, Esther Perel, you're going to have to help us because you're going to save. We're not going to have religion. We're going to have 11 days because 11 is my favorite, is me. We're going to have 11 days at the end of December. That's just party time. It's going to be Christmas and New Year's and Festival of Lights and all this shit. It's all going to meld into an 11-day party, okay, to end the year and because we have these special 5 days in here, people born on those days, whatever. It's just going to be so much fun. And and the Jewish people might have something to do with this because it's all about family. Maybe something similar to the Hanukkah. I do like the Jewish religion and their family and in their love of knowledge. And but let me just say about the Jewish religion right now, what's going on with you guys. So Muslims and even the Asians, like Buddhists and that kind of thing, they don't have the gay gene. And the Jews do. And this is a problem. Because it's the gays who are just the Jewish gays that are the problem. It's the Jewish gay Nazis who ran the Holocaust. It's the Jewish gay Nazis that are causing the circumcision, that are abusing other Jewish babies. And they're abusing Muslims, they're abusing Buddhists where they can. Like right now, they're abusing them in the Philippines and South Korea and this kind of thing. They don't have the gay gene, so it doesn't create other gays, but it creates an oppressed kind of like, God, stop abusing our penises because we have to circumcise them like at 8 and 9. So Muslims, really, you got to look into that religion. It is such a great religion. Like when they celebrate both the male and the female. It's kind of like a baptism, and there's so much good in that religion. And I only knew the Sikhs. Like when I did trucking, I just love them. They're all nice, and they all have kind of like family, and the Jewish has that too, but they have this problem, and the Jews have to solve that problem, is the gay gene within the Jewish people. And they are oppressing, like the whole religious war and the religious swamp shit is the Jews is the problem. It's the very small minority of closeted gay white male Jews. Okay? Jewish people need to address that. So if you come out and you say, oh, I don't like Roald Dahl that came on the Kelly Clarkson show, they were saying, oh, we have this whole musical about him and he's very talented over kids' books, and maybe he was an infantophile, I don't know, maybe he was gay, but to say he was anti-Semitic is like, fuck that, because he probably like didn't like the fact that he was circumcised, or maybe he knows something that a Jew molested his boy. Who knows? But I do not call anybody anti-Semitic as long as the Jews are still pushing for circumcision. Okay? Because that is the sickest, that needs to stop. And if you are Jewish, and it's not anti-Semitic to say, I don't like your religion. Your religion is to mutilate. Your religion is the cause of keeping us from inevitable world peace. Okay? So they need to, so screw you. Call me anti-Semitic all you want. You need to change, you need to separate circumcision from Judaism, and then we can go forward, period. And call me 10,000% anti-Semitic until that happens. I am anti that. Anti-Semitic, yes. That is going to be a badge of honor going forward. So go ahead, start calling people anti-Semitic. You're going to look like a fucking idiot. I am anti-Semitic. Let's do it. I am 10,000% anti-Semitic. I am anti-circumcision of kids. I am anti-forcible retraction of the foreskin, which is the first step in circumcision without painkiller until 20 years ago. So for, what was it, 11,000 years, whatever it is, these babies have been, and so that they can have their little penises sucked while they're in pain and bleeding, and then cut off the thing that's going to make sex better for them. This is so sick. Stop it. I am anti that. I am anti-Semitic. And go ahead. Anybody who's called anti-Semitic, and that includes Roald Dahl. I don't know. Dahl. D-A-H-L. He just came on the Kelly Clarkson show. Not him, but the people playing him. And you have John Lithgow like being apologetic. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm playing Roald Dahl. Oh, I don't like what he did. But what did he do? All I read when I read about it is he was anti-Semitic. Great. He's a fucking hero. It just depends on what was that. If he was Jewish and gay, then no, because those guys are the ones who are the infantophiles. Okay? They're the ones that caused 80% of American men to this day to be circumcised. Like, what the fuck country on the planet? Nobody in Europe has that. No, we are the most circumcised non-Jewish men circumcised in the world. What the fuck? Wake up. Okay, all right, enough. Oh, I promise not to swear. Okay, so the future calendar doesn't have Sunday, and we're going to remove Saturday and have something else. We're going to call it something else if the Jewish people don't stop this shit with the circumcision. And they need to change their religion, their orientation on family, on everything that's in Yentl, like all that shit, education, family, and fuck the goddamn. It was just fantastic. So Yentl without the circumcision, and we're all set. All right, guys, let's do it. And it's happening with or without you. I'm just saying, now we're at a precipice, and there are some things we're not going to be able to stop, which is inevitable world peace, but some things could trend what we're going to be doing for the rest of humanity, depending on what certain Jews do now. Seriously, it's so exciting. Get out there. Let's save Jewish. Let's save the Saturday for the future calendar. Let's make this not Christmas and all this shit. Let's make this, and not Hanukkah. Well, let's convert it into a festival of lights and the New Year. These 11 days. Maybe what does the Hanukkah have? The 11 days, whatever. Let's just not call it Hanukkah, not call it Christmas and all this shit. Festival of lights, and it's gonna have. Let's just keep all the family tradition there, and let's keep Saturdays a day that you have with your kids only. The weekend, like Saturday is family day. That's the day you don't have. That's the day we give babysitters off, teachers off, everybody has off. You take care of your own kids that day, okay? And Friday a little bit, but if mom wants to go out with dad, and the babysitters can work Friday, but Saturday we're gonna make it a tradition. Is in the future is family day, and this is family 11 days. All of this shit, family celebration of lights, family, friends, everything. Okay, no smoking. Humankind's future calendar is not as scary as it seems. And when I first thought of it, I said, oh my God, I hope this doesn't happen in my lifetime, because I really hate the idea of, like, my birthday's on a, what is 11? My birthday's on a Friday, 11. And it's going to be on a Friday my entire life. Future kids aren't even going to think about this, because we don't think, you're not going to have to think about anything like that. Like, you don't even know what the days, like, maybe the days will be something else, but this thinking what days things fall on is just like, holy shit. Can you imagine what does? Anyway, 7:25. Oh, shit. This is turning out to be the spaghetti against the wall issue, and it was supposed to be 10 minutes. But that's the way it goes. Let's just go. So it does scare me, and it does now. I hope this doesn't happen in my lifetime. I'm not kidding. And that's why they said crock, because everybody's going to resist this. Everybody older. Younger people might embrace this because, but like, here's a new word, by the way. Oh, there's my gift. Number 4 is called manufactured strife. I think I talk about it in this video. Manufactured strife. Humankind's future calendar is not as scary as it seems. It is. It's going to be. People are going to reject this, but it doesn't matter, because it's just going to happen naturally, where it's not scary. It's going to happen slowly and naturally. It's not going to be scary. But I'm going to call 2026 year 1, and this is the day. It doesn't start right now, but January 1st, but this is where it kind of like really happened. This is where we're going. The end of April, it's the first 4 months, the first third. There's 4 months, but it's a third, so it's an even odd thing. And this is the first third of 2026. And here we are. Okay. I've got 2 more hours. The idea of being locked into having the same day of the week for your birthday for your entire life seems confining and a bit like being in prison. That's how I felt at first. I'm starting to grow on me, but the reality for kids growing up with this calendar in the future, and it will be our future calendar, this is just as inevitable as sustained world peace, will probably be the opposite. Future kids will not understand how we survived with this kind of manufactured strife for so long. Not just the calendar. It's like 10,000 examples of it, like the wars and this shit is so unnecessary and stupid, when naturally we want to get along. Naturally, we don't want to rule the world and be control freaks. These are blah, blah, blah. Fact is, we didn't survive, at least not very well. Manufactured strife originated from the incorporation of the gay mutation 12,000 years ago into the human genome, which eventually resulted in aggressive, angry gay men reaching a critical mass 11,000 years ago. That's just my number. I'm just putting out there because that's my favorite number. But it seems to correspond with when writing happened and all that shit. We'll do a history of the world stuff later. Okay, let's just read. Manufactured strife originated from the incorporation of the gay mutation 12,000 years ago into the human genome, which eventually resulted in aggressive, angry gay men reaching a critical mass 11,000 years ago that has allowed this minority subgroup of humans to manipulate and control non-gay men and their families for millennia through manufactured strife. Manufactured strife is an unnecessary evil and curse on humanity that will start to disappear naturally as the aggressive and angry form of gay men, which we create, by the way, nurture versus nature. This is, or environment versus genes. We're making these very bad gay people. An angry form of gay men. Manufactured strife is an unnecessary evil and curse on humanity that will start to disappear naturally as the aggressive and angry form of gay men starts to disappear naturally, probably a lot faster than the time it took this form of gay men to reach critical mass 11,000 years ago. We can't imagine what life would be like without it. There are so many positive things that we don't even know. We might even be living to 200 by then because, or not, or at least happier with, I don't know. We have no idea. It's like the future people are looking at us going, oh, those poor schmucks. They have no idea how miserable they are. Likewise, future kids will be used to a calendar that they don't have to think about or have hanging on their walls. There will be no calendar of the year, month, or whatever it is. Maybe, yeah, for people trying to plan things, I guess, yeah. But it won't be like, oh, we have to look up. Anyway, likewise, future kids who've been hanging on their walls, along with thousands of other instances of manufactured strife, they won't be able to imagine what our lives were like. I'm trying to explain it to them. It's miserable in a way. I'm happy because I I could see the future, but I can understand why we're so there's so much. By the way, there will always be strife. For those of you panicking that there won't be struggle, oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? There's always going to be jealousy amongst love. There's going to be murderers. There's going to be always against Mother Nature. Always, always. Cancer. There's going to be problems with blindness. We're just human, and it's beautiful. And we're not going to have problems with AI. That's a fake threat by the defense contractor people. It's by more gays trying to get money out of. Okay. By the way, there will always be strife. But the big difference is humanity as a whole will work together to face the problem in a humans versus natural strife way, which makes for a hell of a lot better quality of life for everybody, strife and all. We'll welcome it. It'll be like a challenge. And you can't, this is where you develop a lot of your stuff is the strife. But it's the strife the important thing is the strife that you solve yourself. Not that you were spanked for it, or not that when you try to make a mistake on the way to doing that, you have to make the mistakes, and then you get punished in a bad way, so it discourages you from making the mistakes you need to make to get to where you need to go. I mean, when you're a scientist, you need to make the mistakes and to be on this little line where, oh, no, you can't go that way because some gay Nazi is ready to punch you down, that you didn't, whatever, okay? And art, this is important to all you artists out there who don't like this. Art and science will go through a renaissance as we pass over into inevitable sustained world peace like no other in human history. I mean, we're not even going to do that. Happy birthday, Boo. I hope you like it. More to come this birthday month. Yeah, okay. So, that answers. So I've taken care of my muse. I've taken care of Whitney Cummings. I've taken care of my Wordle muses. And now, Croc. Okay, that's it. Happy birthday gift number 4. Number 5 and number 6 are coming up. Bye. Hang in there, everybody. I'm going to do them all. Hang in there, everybody. It's a good day for a great day. Onward Christian soldiers who aren't Christian anymore. I used to do that one all the time. And Godspeed to everybody coming out the other side in one piece. That's PEACE and PIECE. Bye. I'm uploading this. And don't forget, this isn't the end. Right here, I'm going to go into Flixier and add that whole tobacco video because tobacco is what we're after. Remember, that's the goal. We're going to try to get tobacco. We're going to try to get marijuana legalized in 2026 and get all the people who are against legalizing marijuana at the federal level who are in Congress, get them out. You just find out who they are, get them out, and that's the best thing you can do for Trump and for world peace, I promise. If that's your thing. Everybody has a thing. Somebody just wants to focus on their family, whatever it is. But it's fun. Just come on, everybody. Everybody come on. It's so much fun. Find what your thing is, okay? Find what your thing is and do it. And it's so fulfilling. If you're depressed, find what your thing is. This is at the precipice. This is good times. This isn't sad times. Bye. Bye. Okay. Hello. Happy Friday, March 22nd, 2024. This morning, before I went to work, I noticed a post by I Meme, Therefore I Am. And I don't even know if this is true or not. He has a check mark. I usually only respond to the check marks, even though a lot of them are fake. But he said these businesses are closing or planning to close, and he listed a whole bunch of them. And the list interested me because a lot of them were what I've tagged in the last 10 years as, as sometime in the last 10 or 15 years as tobacco companies, tobacco swamp companies. So tonight's video isn't going to be for super beginners. It's going to be for my crowdsourcing rules people who have kind of come along with me on this. So when I say tobacco swamp, you kind of know what I'm talking about. I say gay Nazi asshole, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, and tonight's video is my latest project, which is security for the Olympics. So that's why I'm doing this. This is related to security for the Olympics, and you'll see in a minute how I relate it to it. The Olympics this summer in Paris. Oh, big yawn. Oh, sorry. Oh, I went to fall asleep. It's going to be a long video because it's just going to be a long video. I didn't have time to go through a lot of this. But what I said was, nice list, the companies, he's saying, why are they closing? And I said, because these companies are actively purging the gay Nazi assholes from the ranks. And I think Trump has been helping for a long time now. And, you're kind of hoping that they'll survive. But right now they're going to take a bit of a hit because a lot of their income came from illegal activities and swamp activities, and especially cigarette advertising and promoting cigarette artists, promoting as much as they can at a time when the whole tobacco industry is imploding. Marijuana is competing and finally overtaking it, and also the vaping industry. These various industries, the big competition for the cigarettes, are very hard to monopolize. And Altria is having a hard time. They're trying as hard as they can to monopolize marijuana, but you could grow marijuana in your backyard. You can't really grow and make cigarettes as easily as you can marijuana. So sorry, I'm going to yawn again, but I don't care. I'm not stopping this video. This is another one of these now or never, because I have all these open windows. You see, I got to go through all these windows. My computer is slowing down, so I have to do it now because I can't open up any more windows. We're going to go through all the windows up at the top. And then hopefully we'll get somewhere on this. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. I'm just going to go through the windows. But let's just start with tobacco has competition. They're imploding. And that's a good thing because the tobacco swamp is behind a lot of the terrorists. It's behind all the mass shootings. Usually, after a mass shooting, if the mass shooting starts saying we're going to do guns, we're going to take away guns, it's tobacco. If they say we're going to do mental health, money into mental health, it's pharmaceutical. And lately it's been both. But usually tobacco is behind, the tobacco swamp is behind the mass shootings and violence that I'm afraid. That's why I'm on top of this for Paris, because they're going to be behind some kind of, with the religion swamp, I'm suspecting. Okay, so that's what we're doing. We're looking at religion swamp and tobacco swamp getting together. And I'm thinking more somewhere in England. And I said, we're going to look for Catholic priests who smoke cigarettes. Because the tobacco swamp is out of money. So for the longest time, for a decade or so, they pay the ground people in cigarette cartons. I was working for, okay, let's just not go there. There's a digression. Well, let's go there. After I left Pride, based in Salt Lake City as a truck driver, I worked. And then I worked for another company, but then the third company, whatever. I worked actually transporting a lot of hospital records to a place where they were destroyed. I worked for Recall for a while. It's called Recall, where they stored a lot of medical records for all the hospitals in the area. And for a full year, every day, just truckloads full of mostly chest x-rays. And one of the managers there was paying his people in cigarette cartons. And I thought, that's tobacco guy. And he's a Chinese guy from China too. And I thought, this is all tobacco swamp going on. And the reason is I've proposed, I mean, I don't know why I was working there, but when I saw this, I said, oh, here we are. I am on the front lines of destroying the evidence against, because if a child has, I don't care, I'm just going to go through this digression. If a child has leukemia, for instance, you say, how do they get cancer when their parents didn't smoke and they're just born? And my theory is their mom did smoke as a teenager, because you get your eggs when you're a female at birth. You don't make new eggs like men make sperm. You don't do that. You have your basket of eggs and that is it. And if they're mutated or harmed early on, it's going to affect babies you have 10 years later. If you're smoking at 12, 13, 14 as a teenager, even if you stop, the smoking is going to mutate is going to harm your egg cells in such a way that later on when you have babies, they're going to be more cancer prone. Even if you don't smoke anymore, and even if you don't smoke in front of the baby, you're going to have a kid who has leukemia. So the question is, you ask these kids with leukemia, you ask their mom, did you smoke when you were a teenager? And because she'll feel guilty, they might lie. So what you do is you look at their lung x-rays, or if there's any, one good way to tell how badly somebody smoked, when you're trying to get at raw data, and it's hard because the only information you have is from the people, like if you're gay or not, or whatever it is. This kind of research is so difficult, so it's helpful to have a secondary kind of thing to check them against, like who smoked and who didn't. And a chest x-ray is the best way to tell in older people if they're lying about smoking or not, or how much they smoked. And we just destroyed, years and years worth of chest x-rays. I did that for a full year. I would bring it, and I knew what I just had the feeling that this was being done, and then Recall went out of business, but I had a feeling it was like a rush job to destroy evidence for smoking lawsuits in the future. And I just thought, it's just my job. What was I going to do? Not do it or report it or whatever? I just did it, but I was at the front lines of this. I don't know, this is where, because I've mentioned Nina before, and this is where I met Nina as well. She worked for Recall, and they went out of business, so we both went our separate ways after that. Yeah. Anyway, when I was trucking, I've been anti-tobacco forever, but I know that Dollar General and Walgreens and even Walmart, not anymore, but especially Dollar General and Walgreens, would have illegal advertising up in the front. It's called POS, point of sales. And the Family Something Tobacco Act of whatever that Obama signed, right? The Marlboro Obama, the guy who made sure marijuana wasn't. Let's just not do this. He made sure marijuana never became legalized. That's the whole reason he was elected. Tobacco swamp is very powerful. He ran on that for 2 different election cycles. Yes, we're going to legalize marijuana, and he made sure. And Kamala Harris is the same way. She ran on legalizing tobacco, and she's in that position to make sure that marijuana does not become legalized at the federal level. This makes a huge difference, because maybe I'll do this another time. There's just so much stuff to cover. No, let's just do this, because I want to move on to other stuff, and this is important for security. It just taps on a lot of different things. But one way, for instance, let's just do the Bible work real fast. What motivation did they have to create these religions that had these rules, such as no work on Sunday, the Sabbath? These kind of rules, they're restricting trade is what they're doing, and they're trying to control business, they're trying to control the economy, so that they could say nobody is allowed to work on Sunday, but then they go behind and they give special permission for certain businesses to do certain stuff, and it becomes, they make very restrictive laws, and then they are in charge of, the underhanded stuff that happens. And that's what a lot of our entire administrative agency system is right now, is just very illegal, and it's unconstitutional agencies just making tons of rules. if you're breaking a rule in life right now, you step out your front door and you're breaking a rule, it's most likely one that wasn't made by Congress. It was most likely made by an administrative agency. And, they're not, it's an unconstitutional way of making laws that they just run everybody's lives without anybody realizing it. But, so when they make marijuana illegal, for instance, and so they can control, if they make it legal, then a whole bunch of criminal activity, goes out the window. So the criminals want it to keep it illegal, and the criminals right now is like tobacco, until they can control it. So one of the competition, in addition to marijuana for cigarettes, is the vaping. And Mitt Romney was trying to get all the vaping. Mitt Romney from Utah was trying to get all the vaping to be illegal. Like, he was trying to get Trump to really make all the vaping, and a lot of stuff that makes people quit smoking. Like, there's a lot of products that help people quit smoking, and they were trying to make these products illegal. You have to separate out the nicotine ones. They're saying, it's attracting kids to smoking because it's nicotine. But a lot of the vaping that the kids do is just sugar water and colored sugar, and it wasn't even smoking. It was a lot healthier than cigarettes, for sure. But they wanted to make a ban on all of it. And I think they did, or they were trying, and maybe they couldn't. But the reason was Mitt Romney, who was based in Salt Lake City, had a whole empire of illegal importation of these vape products. And he did this because Salt Lake City is a trucking capital of the world. Like, they have C.R. England's there, Pride, where I started, is there. It's just a central location, and a good place to have a trucking company, because you're not central, but from there we went all over the country. When I worked for Pride, there's just a lot of trucking companies there, and I noticed that C.R. England trucks, there was a much bigger company, but as a trucker, I began to notice that a lot of I just got the feeling that they were doing a lot of illegal transportation of not only cigarette cartons, but vaping products. Like, I would see a lot of C.R. England trucks towing Dollar General trailers. If I saw a Dollar General trailer coming the other way on a highway, it was always being towed by a C.R. England truck. Like, there's a trailer and then there's a tractor that pulls it, and you could switch the tractors around for a company, and you could work for Dollar General, but they seemed to be working for Dollar General, and I just got the feeling that they were transporting a lot of illegal cigarettes, because Dollar General was big on advertising cigarettes. Point of sale. Yeah, the point of sale. So let's get back to that. So Obama signed something that said, it's called the Tobacco Family Protection Act of whatever. He signs this into law, and it said it is illegal to have a big Marlboro, any kind of cigarette ad in like a poster board anywhere where children could see it at point of sale. And every corner gas station has them. Every Walgreens has it. Huge. I took pictures for years. Every Dollar General has it. Big Marlboro ads. Every 7-Eleven had it until they finally, maybe they do now, but for a while they stopped doing it after I went on. There's a Chevron. There was a couple of places that actually finally stopped when I threatened to sue. For a year they finally stopped, and then maybe they came back. But it does work, and I did it at Walmart. Every Walmart I went to, at the very front, they would have these big Marlboro ads, point of sale, illegal. It's not illegal though. I would say unlawful. There's a difference. Illegal is criminal. But you could sue supposedly because they violated this act that Obama signed. But the thing about acts and all this stuff is, if it's made, it's also enforcement. Like, if you make the law, oh, that's great, look at him, he's anti-tobacco, and yet he doesn't nobody enforces these. Of course, they enforced the marijuana ones to the you know. Anyway, it's just all about making the laws, and it all goes back to just fascism. It's how fascism works. You make these laws, and then you pick and choose what you enforce, and just don't make the law in the first place. If it's, but anyway, so Mitt Romney. So ever since I saw it, I just in my brain, Sierra England. Sierra England is a big trucking company. I thought that they were run by Romney, and he's tobacco swamp, and he's a religion swamp guy. So in my brain from a long time ago, he's based in Salt Lake City. He runs Sierra England, and now he's trying to get Trump to make vaping illegal so that he could boost his business of illegal transportation in his Sierra England trucks across the country. I would see it, and then I would go down to the border, and there'd be all these Sierra England, and I thought that they were just transporting very cheap products from China and bringing them in and selling them. Is they could make way more money if it's illegal, is what I'm saying. That's why he was trying to make it illegal, vaping products, because he had a huge business, black market. That's what Romney runs, is black market and also tobacco, both of them. Okay, so why did I get to this? Because anyway, so I have this list, and in my brain, okay, let's just go. Okay, so I was wrong. Let me show you the list that he had. So from this list, I made a few mistakes, but I'm picking out the companies that with the most stores closing. So I'm going to get rid of this original. Actually, I need to start closing some windows. So I'm rambling on because there's a lot of different things related here, and I'm just going back, and I'm trying to do it's okay. I don't care. Don't care. I'll tell you the bottom line soon. Hello. This is a continuation from 4 hours ago. I'm still trying to complete this video. I'm having space problems on my laptop, and I finally deleted some space, and we'll see if we can get through this. I would make a whole video, talk, and then it just wouldn't record it because I didn't have any space, so the whole thing was lost, and I did that a couple of times. But the last thing I said, this is March 22nd still, Friday, March 22nd, 2024. The last thing I said was I'm going to give you the rundown in a minute, and I'm going to do it right now, the bottom line. And that is Mitt Romney, who is tobacco swamp and religion swamp, is Mormon, and Adam Schiff, who is tobacco swamp and religion swamp. He's Judaism, he's Jewish. And the CEO of Boston Market, I was looking him up from this other work, I'll tell you in a minute, but this is the bottom line. I was looking for an interview to see if he was gay.
On the customer and the customer experience and
turns out,
have you the regulatory environment, is it something you think about and something that's really hurting your business as much as some others were suggesting earlier in our show?
We focus on the customer and the customer experience and providing great food in our restaurants. We look at regulations.
So his name is Georges Michel, and he's French, I think. Georges Michel. He sounds French, and I looked him up, and I couldn't. We'll look him up later when I can open more tabs. But I think he's French, and I think he's tobacco because he is the CEO. He was the CEO of Boston Market until 2020, and I think it has to do with the accident in 2019. I'll get through that, but this is the bottom line: is those three guys are now really. We should focus on them for any kind of, in addition to, the priests in England who smoke, but these three, if there's going to be some kind of terrorist or kind of non-secure stuff going on at the Olympics in Paris. Now, keep in mind, Adam Schiff in particular was also behind the big mass shooting in 2017 with the, what did they call it? The Eagles of Death Metal. Remember that big shooting that was supposed to be Islamic militants But that was all Adam Schiff doing that. And then like a year later or a few months later, he was in charge of the shooting in San Bernardino that was also blamed on Islamic militants. So this thing in Paris is going to be blamed on Islamic merit. It's going to be blamed on Hamas. Okay, and it's going to be Adam Schiff behind it. Okay, but he's going to get help from this guy, George Michel, because he's tobacco and he speaks French. And and Mitt Romney's going to help too because he's tobacco and is also a religion swamp, even though it's Mormon. So this is the bottom line for security. And I'm going to go through and tell you now what to look for and why I'm thinking this. But I'm going to get rid of this window right now. Okay, George Michel. And we'll look at Boston Market in a minute. So I highlighted all the stores that are closing, all the companies that are closing down stores. I highlighted all the ones that had 100 or more stores closing in bold right here. And I'm going to go through and say why I think they're tobacco swamp. Macy's, when I saw that, I thought they were tobacco swamp a long time ago because tobacco swamp, I said they're related to like the mass shootings, but also there was a period when anytime there was a big emergency, there would be this propaganda of New York NYPD Blue marching around in front of Macy's with assault rifles out in public. And it was very iconic, of course, because Macy's is New York. And it was very propaganda because it's like New York and then we're supposed to trust, here's Macy's, very Americana, and then the NYPD Blue, we're supposed to trust them, and they're supposed to walk around with assault rifles, and that's okay? No, it's not okay. In fact, I'm going to reiterate what I said before. You as a citizen have a right to shoot anybody walking around with an assault rifle in public as a potential shooter. If you have your children with you and there's somebody walking around in public like it's nothing with an assault rifle, you just shoot them. Don't even ask questions. And that includes somebody, even if they're an officer, too bad. Because how am I supposed to know? How am I supposed to know that it's not some mass shooter dressed as an NYPD Blue, which was the whole point of this. The whole point of this exercise of getting these iconic pictures and then, this big emergency and thank God we have NYPD walking around with assault rifles is to desensitize us to the fact that we have people walking around with assault rifles, open carrying assault rifles. Now I'm into the Second Amendment, but I'm not into open carrying assault rifles around in public like that. Okay, no way. And for anybody, police or nobody. So the goal of the Nazis, gay Nazi assholes, is to make sure all the guns are taken away from citizens and that all the assault rifles are taken away from citizens, and the only people who have assault rifles are the local police. Now, if that's not fascism, that's like the core of fascism. All right. Once you have that, you can have your Holocaust all you want. There's nothing anybody can do about it. So that's what all that's about. The tobacco swamp is responsible for that part of politics going on. So Macy's definitely total tobacco swamp run and tobacco swamp everything with their gun images. Like I was telling people then, alarm bells all over the place. I said this New Year's Eve, they are planning to have a mass shooter dressed as an NYPD Blue fake in the New Year's crowd and just open fire. You could kill 300 people easily with an assault rifle like that before anybody realizes what's going on. Especially when you have more than one shooter and then they just blend into the crowd as police officers, eventually. But that's what I said was going to happen. I think it was like 2000 and I forget when they kept having these images and they were really setting people up to trust NYPD Blue to walk around. And they don't do it anymore, but Macy's is definitely. Walgreens, I've mentioned, advertises cigarettes. They're definitely tobacco swamp. Rite Aid, I'll talk about that a little bit later, but they are involved in transporting. They're under Mitt Romney. At least their trailers are. I've seen it. I'll show you that later. And they're under 100 stores anyway, but I just wanted to list them with Walgreens. The Gap and Banana Republic, I wasn't sure, but I looked them up, and they're headquartered in San Francisco, and San Francisco is Tobacco Central. The Tobacco Central to me is San Francisco, New Jersey. I used to call it the gay Nazi capital of the world, and now Las Vegas a little bit, but New Jersey, San Francisco, Las Vegas, these are all very big tobacco to me. In my brain, that triggers at tobacco. So the Gavin Banana Republic, San Francisco based, that's tobacco, and I'm not sure how they're related, but that's Tobacco Swamp, and they're having trouble right now because of it. Bye Bye Baby and Bed Bath & Beyond are both headquartered in New Jersey, another Tobacco Swamp area, so those are tobacco related. I mistakenly said Foot Locker was based in San Francisco. It's not. It's headquartered in New York, but it is NFL related. And Nike, NFL, all that is Tobacco Swamp. That's how they're related to the Tobacco Swamp. I made another mistake where I said Dollar Tree and Family Dollar were tobacco because I was thinking they were Dollar General for some reason. I think I just saw the word dollar and thought Dollar General. They never sold cigarettes and they never advertised cigarettes. But there is a bit of a scam. I'm not sure if they sold cigarettes. I think Family Dollar may have sold cigarettes. I was always under the impression that Dollar General was Tobacco Swamp and Dollar Tree wasn't because they didn't advertise cigarettes. And I don't think they sold cigarettes either. And all of a sudden, they're here on this list that's tobacco, and I don't understand what the connection is. Maybe it's all dollar stores are going under a little bit, but there may have been a connection in that. Dollar General definitely ran scams with EBT cards and welfare for food stamps. You're not supposed to buy cigarettes with that. It's unlawful to do that, but they found a way to get around that, and I'm sure they sold cigarettes using food stamps at Dollar General. I'm pretty sure they did. That was a big moneymaker for them. And maybe Dollar Tree or Family Dollar was involved in that in some way, so they're dependent on the Tobacco Swamp. So I'm not sure. Party City, based in New Jersey. Kelly Moore Paints, based in San Francisco or just south of San Francisco. But I kind of knew this because there's a big road. There's a main road there, and there's a huge Kelly Moore Paints like warehouse. So I suspected that's a Tobacco Swamp kind of. Burger King, I don't know what's going on. Miami, Florida, I just made a guess and said it's tobacco related because they're probably involved in some kind of illegal importation of Cuban cigars from Cuba there in Miami, and it's Tobacco Swamp that way. Boston Market, I'll tell you about that in a minute. And then the last one, Wells Fargo, is the worst, swampiest, most corrupt bank you can imagine, based in San Francisco. Like, I don't understand how they're still in business. They are so corrupt. Every 6 months, there's like some big scam where they're ripping off customers and ripping off people. Just go out of business already. I mean, it's just incredible how they remain in business with so much scamming going on. So that's definitely based in San Francisco. So Boston Market, I said, before I went to work, I looked it up real fast. What did I say? California agriculture. Nope. So what I did was, I just went like this. Let's just do it right now. Sorry about this. I thought I was better prepared. I said, I just wondered where they were based. Boston Market headquarters. Okay, before I went to work, I was in a rush. And I said, oh, Golden, Colorado. I don't know where that is, but it's Colorado. And the first thing that triggered was this truck crash in 2019 that really was highly suspect when I first read about it. I said, that didn't happen that way. Most truckers reading that going, what are they talking about? Like, they would report that the brakes went out, and part of the evidence was that there was film of a bunch of liquid, probably brake fluid, they were saying, flying out the back of the truck. And then every trucker on the planet said, what the hell are you talking about? Trucks use air brakes. There's no like liquid leaking like brakes in a car. There's no brake fluid. there's no fluids leaking when a truck's brakes give out. It's mostly smoke from the it's not what you think it is. It's just meltdown of the okay. So it's not happening the way they were saying it was, and also everything that happened sounded suspicious. So I concluded, and I'll show you why, after all that was just, it was a lumber truck, but they were transporting illegal illegal vaping products or something hidden inside the wood or something. I don't know what that was, but it just seemed related to tobacco, and it seemed really staged. And I'll explain that in a minute. But that's the last thing I said when I went to work. I said, oh, Colorado is tobacco swamp, and I'll explain it later. There's warehouses there housing all sorts of illegal products. Probably Mitt Romney involved and trucking involved. It just seemed very tobacco related. But I said I'll explain later why I think that. But the first thing that came to mind was that trucking accident, Colorado, and then I left. But what I didn't see was over here, this little, there's Golden, where is that? And then I saw Lakewood and I said, oh my God, that's where that's where it occurred right here. Here's I-70, and I'll show you that in a minute. But Lakewood is just west of Denver. It's all kind of Denver area, but that's when you say the Lakewood trucking accident right here. If you look it up on Wikipedia, it's called the 2019 Lakewood semi-truck crash. Okay, so that is before I went to work, and then I discovered this after work, and I said, oh, well, now we're definitely looking up Boston Market, we're looking up the CEO, we're looking up all sorts of stuff, but now, so we're going to get rid of this one, okay? So that's related, and okay, so this is that list, and that's where we're going to start to look at the Boston Market stuff right now. Okay, so I can close this down before we get on with this video. Please close nicely. Now, I just want to say I'll close this one too, because when I took a closer look at Boston Market, it had a slow death starting in 2020. They were sold, and I think it had to do, like, I think the truck crash in 2019 was related to some stuff going on in their warehouses right there in Golden, and the truck crash was nearby, and that was the beginning of, like, they were just financially imploding since then, and now they're just out. I think they're gone. But it's just that I just wanted to show the article that I'm reading. I'm showing all the articles I'm reading, but this article is interesting because it talks about its slow death. And it doesn't say anything about the truck crash. Nobody even thinks they're related. But I'm relating them right this second. I'm probably the first person to do that who's, come on, get onto it. Crowdsourcing rules. Okay? Now, the CEO stepped down in 2020. That CEO I'm talking about, the Michel, the French guy. And then somebody else took over, and he's blaming it on COVID and all this other stuff. But he knows it's tobacco. He knows. He knows what's going on, and he's going to be involved in any kind of Paris, for sure. He's going to be involved with that. I'll bet you. So get on it. But I want to close that window because there's some stuff I want to do that's going to take a lot of memory. All right, so we're down to a few windows. Before I talk about Mitt Romney Mitt Romney. Well, we'll talk about Mitt Romney right now. So when I'm trucking, let's say, if we look at this, so California is different from a lot of other states in that we're really protective of our agriculture here, and we have something called agriculture inspection stations. And it's just not for people leaving California. If you're coming in on a major highway, there's these inspection stations, and they'll say, are you bringing in any oranges or any fruits or whatever? They just want to make sure you're not bringing in anything that's going to have like fruit flies or that's going to ruin our agriculture. But it's okay, that's okay to do that, but it's more of a cover for other stuff going on too. Like, they really are looking out for illegal activity. They're keeping an eye out for, illegal drugs and any kind of activity they're just kind of eye on it. And another thing is that these inspection stations, they don't need any kind of cause of action or anything. They could just inspect any vehicle they want for this stuff. So it's, it's a little bit fascist, but at the same time, whatever, just we'll take care of this stuff later. There's too many things to have to worry about. It's a bit fascist in that they could really inspect, but if you are doing something illegal, like here's Calexico, Mexicali's on the Mexican side, and Mexico side, and Calexico is across. Mexicali is in Mexico, Calexico is in California. But there's two cities on the border, and there's a lot of activity down there. I used to pick up a lot of trailers from Mexico there and bring them elsewhere in the country for Legend, when I worked for Legend in 2019. But I also saw a lot of CR England trucks. But if I were trying to get illegal stuff from here across the border to, let's back up a little bit, to Salt Lake City, over here in Utah, there's Salt Lake City. I noticed that when I play back my videos, my little pointer doesn't quite point exactly. Right now I'm circling Salt Lake City, and it might be off when you actually see it. My pointer might be over to the right, so sorry about that. I don't, maybe when I get a different laptop soon. But if I want to take stuff there to Denver or Salt Lake City, I'm not going to go on the major highway. There's what is this? There's 35, 15, 25. This is the 15. This is the 25. Here's I-40. I remember these highways. I-10, I-8. I-8 is up here. I would go up this way. Stop doing this. I go down what's called 395. I've been up this route before. It's it's just a one or sometimes a 2-lane highway, but it's very smooth. It's not very rough. There aren't any way stations, or they're usually closed. And then there's the one at agriculture station that's just not very attentive either. But let me show you an example. Also, let me just show you. You might have seen this. If you're going from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, yeah, so if I'm going to Denver, I don't want to come up this way. I don't want to come up 25 because there's a lot of way stations, and there's also these agricultural stations. You're trying to avoid police or being seen too much. So let me just show you, for instance, if you're going to Las Vegas, on the way there, you're not going to pass through the inspection station. But I also want to show you this fun tool on Google Maps called Road View. Look at this. You kind of dangle your guy. I'm going to drop him there on the agriculture station there. So this is what it looks like. Oh, what are we looking at? Oh, let's back up a little bit. Let me back up. Hold on. I love these Google Street View. You can see so much with this stuff. Love Google. Go Google. But this is what it looks like. If you've traveled from Las Vegas to LA by car, you've been through this. You maybe don't remember, but it's And if you're going in the other direction, there isn't a station on the other side, but these guys see everybody going over there. They're watching. They're keeping an eye on the trucks passing by, and if there's some kind of red flag, they'll call the way station up ahead and say, hey, this person, whatever. So you just don't want to be. You don't want to be here. You don't want to. If you're doing illegal stuff, you don't want to bring your trucks through here if you can. Avoid it, because you can be inspected anytime, and they'll, So that's a station. That's the one that's coming in from Las Vegas. It's on the Nevada border. So what you want is something more like up here to the north. So I'm going to take this is the route I'm going to take to Salt Lake City from Mexicali. I'm going to come up here. It's 395. It's how Californians go to Mammoth Mountain to ski, and it's this back. I call it the back roads on the other side of the Sierra Nevadas instead of this side. Come up to Yosemite this way, go through Bishop. But here's an agricultural station up here near Lake Topaz. Before you get to Reno, where are you, baby? There you are. That's the one. So it's right here, Topaz Lake. Beautiful lake. But I'll show you an up-close view of that way station, of that inspection. This is it right here. one lane. It's very different from the other one. And one time, I came through here many times, but one time I was coming down from Reno, going down to LA, I guess, or something like that, and the guy's smoking a cigarette, like the inspection guy, while he's coming. He doesn't even put it out. He doesn't even, like, I'm sure you're not supposed to be smoking while you're working, but that's when I was like tweeting Trump going, look, this is a major pathway for illegal cigarettes. They're paying off this guy in cigarette cartons to just look the other way. And the other thing I noticed, I've never seen Rite Aid trailers in very many places, like anywhere except here. Like almost every other truck is a Rite Aid trailer being towed, being pulled by a CR England truck. So I'm like, oh, alarm bells everywhere. Rite Aid and Dollar General, and they're all tobacco related, and they're all based going to Salt Lake City, and then God knows what firm or two or whatever. There's just something going on here. Anyway, and this is the place you want to pass. This is one guy who's getting paid in cigarette cartons. He doesn't care. He'll let them through. He won't inspect them. All right. So then a lot of Rite Aid trucks through here. But it's the back door, and you go from here, and in a few miles you cross into Nevada and head to Reno, and from Reno it's a straight shot to Salt Lake City with only a few way stations that are probably easily bought as well. And they're probably not looking for these illegal things until, they just know about it. It's just easier to, oops, okay. So, alright, so now, where are we? We're on a big map. So that's the route I would take, and that's probably the route they use, and run by Mitt Romney. And it's basically Calexico straight, and you don't even pass very many way stations either. I mean, it's just the biggest way to get from anything from China, anything made cheap, illegal, whatever it is. It's tobacco products or mostly vaping products, all illegal black market stuff coming here and ending up in Salt Lake City. That route right there through that one, way station. And then from there you go to Denver. And then guess where else? Guess what's on this? I love this map like this because it goes like this. Here's Las Vegas. Come on, stop popping up. Oh, so Las Vegas to Denver to Kansas City. It's just like Kansas City has now become a bit of a tobacco place for me now. Denver's where the city of Golden is, where they had warehouses. I don't think they do anymore. And Vegas is the new tobacco capital after New Jersey recently. I'm going to get rid of this map because we're going to do something that's going to require a lot of memory. Okay, still recording. So I'm going to search Golden, Colorado, and here's Golden, and here's Lakewood, and this is the route that trucker did in that crash. It's called the Lakewood semi-truck crash of 2019. So this whole area right here that's kind of green is the Rocky Mountains, and you're coming down very long, very steep, and it's going to be hard on your truck brakes. And there's a lot of truck brake problems here, and there are a lot of people lose their brakes. But they end up crashing at the bottom of the hill, so I don't understand how this guy made it through. I do understand it didn't happen the way they're claiming. But here's the route, coming down, and then it kind of levels out down here on I-70. Come on, go away. And so it's steep, and then it levels out, and then after he gets to the bottom and he makes that turn, it doesn't look too sharp when we look at it, but I don't think he can make it going 100, which is what he's probably doing, truckers are doing. I got a lot of speed when I did this. Oh, did I tell you, I went back after this, and I went, because I went to Denver often, and I did this route, like, on purpose, and I didn't want to do 80. I think the speed limit is even like 45. It's like super slow. Like truck speed limits are super slow going down these big hills like this. Like you can't be speeding like that. So it's like 45 or something. But I did, want to check it a little bit. And you could really get going fast down here. But one thing I wanted to check was a couple things. How we got from here all the way up to here. I forget where it is. It's up here somewhere. Oh, Denver West. It's like 4 miles without hitting anybody. Okay, first of all, because there's lots of traffic. It was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. There had been another accident before his accident, and they're saying it was unrelated, and it's totally related. Of course, this is all mapped out. Bottom line, you're saying, why are they doing this in particular? Anytime the gay Nazi assholes, the swamp creeps, anytime they do something like this, there's always multiple purposes and multiple goals. One goal, I'm going to tell you right ahead of time, is, I've said this so many times tonight, I don't know if I already told you this, but I'm going to say it again. So, I don't know if I talked about the administrative agencies. They're out of control, they're not constitutional, they're fascist, and they just need to be reined in. Now, we're not going to rein them in. What's really going to happen when we take down the 16th Amendment, which is where the Nazis have been getting their money since World War I, World War II, all the wars are funded by our 16th Amendment. But once that goes down, then they don't have money to have all these administrative agencies. There's no money for the crooked stuff anymore. So they're going to kind of shrink naturally after the 16th Amendment. But there is a Supreme Court justice, and it's the first one that Trump put on the Supreme Court because he's smart as heck. Trump, and his name is Gorsuch. And his big claim to fame is he is really big on getting control of the administrative agencies. It's called challenging the Chevron doctrine. Chevron was a ruling that said that they gave a whole bunch of power to the administrative agencies, and it just needs to be taken down and go away. It's just, go away, Chevron. But he's big on that, and Trump put him up there for that reason, and you better believe the swamp Nazis know this. So, and he's from Colorado. So you're going to say, well, where is that? Well, I'll tell you what. If you are, the truck driver who's involved in this is Hispanic. He doesn't speak English very well. And if I'm a truck driver, right, or I said I used to be a truck driver, and if you are a young Hispanic male, you don't have to speak only Spanish. You don't even have to speak Spanish at all. And you work at a minimum wage job, either in California or Florida. I mean, I'm across the country here. That's how widespread this is how successful this propaganda was. Because it just shocked me. I told some workers in Target in LA, and I told some of my co-workers here, both minimum wage, stocking, whatever, Walmart job, Target job, Hispanic young males. You say, I am a truck driver, and the first thing they mention is this accident. It's like it was a huge deal to the young Hispanic because it's a young Hispanic male, and apparently they treated him very badly. The bottom line is all of Colorado is racist, and the way they treated him in the aftermath, the driver of this, they convicted him to 100 years or something, and everybody was saying, oh, that's racist, when I think they figured out that this was all fake is what happened. And I was telling these guys that, but they didn't. I said, I didn't know what happened to the trucker. I didn't know that. But both times I would tell him, like, I said, well, the second one, I said, I heard that at the Target in LA that this is what happened to this guy. And I looked it up more. But I said, but that was a fake. It was a total fake accident. I said, I went back, I redid it. They couldn't do it that way. Somebody did it on purpose. And the people they should have gotten was the ones who set this up, not the driver. The driver took the fall. But I hope more drivers take the fall so they learn not to deal with this tobacco swamp people. They should do that every time there's a shoot, whatever it is. I'm glad he got 100 years. It's going to make people think twice before they deal with these tobacco swamp people, but they need to climb up higher. I'm sure Trump climbed up way higher because I told him to. He was onto it right away. He was on the news going, we're going to have to find out what's going on here. This is scandal. He was saying things are not adding up. After I was online like crazy telling him all the problems and why, and I'm sorry that we can't find it because all that stuff has been deleted. You can't search it and find all this information. So of course the tobacco swamp deleted that a long time ago when they suspended me. So now Gorsuch pretty soon it's going to be happening. Is going to start coming up with some stuff against the administrative agencies, against the 16th Amendment, and every Hispanic male in the country is going to say he's not like it. They're going to be against Gorsuch. They're going to say he's from Colorado, he's white. They're going to hate the guy. And they knew this. They knew this when they did this thing 5 years ago. They planned these guys. They're really good, you guys. I'm telling you, they're so good. You begin to like respect them. You begin to like cheer for them sometimes, because this really worked. It really. So Gorsuch is going to have a problem with credibility just because of this trucking accident, and that was the whole plan. That was part of the plan. Anybody from Colorado is a white supremacist again and hates Hispanics. You know, and that's what they're gonna. That's definitely coming your way, Gorsuch. So keep an eye out for it. But you guys really need to make it clear that this was all planned BS. And I'll show you in a minute. So here's the route he took. And I said it was BS. I said it was planned. And then I see this video. So we're gonna do this in a minute. So the Lakewood truck crash. There was a precursor crash, which happened and it caused traffic. And that was planned. And the main crash happened where he's coming. They said up to 100 miles an hour, and there was traffic, and he came in after 4 miles and hit a couple of vehicles. But there was like the lumber from his name is Aguilera. His semi-trailer combined with gasoline from the smashed cars and the mattresses carried by Beauty Best semi-trailer truck created quick fuel for the fire to ignite. Doesn't that make sense? How does that ignite a fire? How did the fire start? And then there were all these explosions after that. And it's like, what? It was like Hollywood. It was so fake. Like that happens in Hollywood, but that's not how real. It doesn't, like boom, and then another explosion, then another explosion. And they say, oh, well, we can't figure out what happened to the brakes on the truck now because the whole truck burned down. And it's like, no, that's not. I did accident investigations. You could burn it down all you want. There's still some clues there to see if it was a brake problem. You can still tell. You could still find out a lot of stuff from a burnt down truck. What they did was they had explosions already pre-planted in the truck, so that when he crashed, they just blew everything up and to blow away the evidence of what really happened. Either that, or one of the things. It's not either that. I think he was either paid to do this, or it was a remote controlled truck at a certain point. Like he came from the warehouse, the illegal tobacco stuff in Golden, got on going toward carrying a fake load, probably toward New York. I don't know if it's a fake load. It could have been. It's like inter-mafia stuff going on, like some kind of tobacco wars, where the competing warehouse people here with the competing warehouse set this guy up. He's got a very expensive load of vaping products hidden in the lumber, and they just blew it all up, and then blew up the fact that the truck was remote controlled this way. You can remote control the trucks very easily. You can remote control a lot of stuff. And then they did this whole thing where they turned it into a Hispanic thing. They turned it into a get money for improving the signs. Like anytime you can get money from the government to do anything nowadays, you could take like 90% of it off the top from swamps. We need money to improve the signs and make them for Hispanic people too. Like we need to change all the signs to be English and Hispanic. Was a key thing that you could tell when they did a pre-video saying, okay, so there's a couple of things that were wrong. A couple of things were the physics didn't match up, and also there were no witnesses. There was one video that was obviously made to propagandize the fact that he couldn't read the signs in Spanish, and then they need what they need is another truck turnout. So they're going to get all this money for all this stuff, and 90% of it's going to go to swamp, okay, from the government. But that was one thing. And then nobody. I'll show you. Like nobody else saw any of this stuff, and he's supposed to be passing people up. Okay, so this I was looking for this video in particular, and it turns out to be the only witness, pretty much. Is this guy. The live, I'm going to show you the Crash Burger Planet guy. Okay, we're going to go to this video. Here we go. So I'm gonna get rid of this liquid, this thing. Just look it up on semi-truck crash and you can get this video. Okay, so once I saw this video, I'll tell you ahead of time, it was all set up. It's a gay redheaded guy, of course. Immediately when I see it's a redhead, I'm not still on the fence. I'm going to say 50-50 whether he's gay or not, but he's a redhead and either gay or the gay men are in love with him and want to promote he's a comedian. They really want this to be a viral video and launch his career the same way they sort of shot up Uvalde to try to launch Matthew McConaughey because he comes from Uvalde. So they shot up all these kids, the tobacco swamp assholes, shot up all these kids in Uvalde, and then they were supposed to launch Matthew McConaughey's congressional career from this. And that as soon as it happened, I said, that's what's going on. And I really swore at Matthew McConaughey. I said, you fucking, I just went on, and I think it didn't take off because of that. But this is what they'll do. They'll shoot up a whole bunch of kids in a mass shooting in Uvalde just to launch Matthew McConaughey. This is what they did here. They killed 4 people and all this to try to launch this guy's little comedic career. And let's just watch what happens. But I'm going to tell you ahead of time. There was a script. He had trouble remembering the script. Right near this sign is the exit, but the truck just passed. Passed him on the right, doing 80, and had the accident like a few hundred yards up here is where the accident was after traveling 4 miles. Okay. This traffic here is from a previous accident that was already planned, and I just wanted to show you that he had to hit some advertising. He had to mention Saturday Night Live. He had to mention his mom's church. Conan O'Brien, who's another redhead. He had to mention a couple of other people, and then he got the cue. He's going live here, but he got a cue of when to start vaping. So he had a lot of advertising to do, and he was forgetting what he was supposed to do, because then the other thing he did was 20 times he looked over to his rear view mirror on the right. Why are you looking over there so much? Very nervously, because he's looking for the truck. You could tell he knew the truck was coming. You could tell he was getting nervous because the truck was supposed to come before he got to this exit. And then he got a cue from a guy when to vape. And then 3 seconds later the truck goes by, because he needed to, when the video went viral, you had to show him vaping and then the truck passing by. So that was the most important part. The previous stuff was okay, but the vape 3 seconds before the truck went by, it tells you who's advertising this and who's making this video. Okay, it's the vapors, it's the tobacco swamp. I'm just telling you ahead of time because we're going to go through it right now. The first, it's like two minutes right now. Okay? Let's go, baby. Come on. Oh, no. Come on.
Oh yeah, I saw an interview with Conan O'Brien. Was it Conan?
Conan?
Yeah, it was a recent interview with Conan O'Brien and Bill Hader, and he said that.
Bill Hader?
He said that.
I like him.
Jeff Bridges. Oh shit!
Okay, so here's Denver West, and there's a bridge right there, and the accident happened right under the bridge on the other side. There was another accident that was right there as well, but okay, here we go. So this guy's calling
Thanks,
in.
Anonymous. Who's this from?
He's not anonymous.
Sean Silvers. Thanks, man.
Sean,
Dude.
probably also another redhead. Sean sounds Irish. Okay.
Dude. Thanks, Sean. That's the guy from my mom's church.
Church?
Thanks, buddy. So, the interesting thing I was going to say, I know that I've known that guy since I was born.
He forgot his script.
What was I talking about? Oh yeah.
Looks to the right once.
Thing about what the fudge was I talking about? Dang, I can't
What's the
remember.
script?
was I talking about? Oh yeah, the interview with Bill Hader and Conan O'Brien. He said he was really nervous on Saturday Night Live, and he said,
Okay, so he's looking to the right. This is the second time. Why is he looking that way? But this interview that was scripted ahead of time has him putting his arm to the right so that he could look to the right. Like they scripted it so he can keep his eye out to the right. Watch. Okay, watch.
he's like, he said he always gets nervous and he always gets a lot of anxiety, and Jeff Bridges told him a story. He said, yeah, man, my friend, he used to get real nervous too before we go on stage. And he said,
5, 6.
He said, if you ever is a point in your life where you're not nervous, he said, that means you don't care, man. Like, it's like, anxiety, man, that's your buddy, man.
7,
you just
8,
like put your arm around the anxiety,
9,
and
10,
that's your
11,
buddy.
12,
Like, you gotta go
13,
take him out and about, show him around.
14,
That's where you get your creativity. That's where you get your passion, man.
15,
So, anxiety, that's your buddy.
16,
you gotta just
17,
embrace the anxiety
18,
and use that for
19.
creativity and whatnot. Anxiety is cured now. Thanks, Burger. Welcome.
Now he's going to get the cue to vape.
Listen, embracing. Well, I know about embracing DW. I'm just saying what he said. Put your arm around him.
20.
God,
Okay, vape. You just got a cue to vape.
guys under bumper. Yes, I know. You're welcome, guys. We just cured anxiety. Oh my God! Jesus Christ! We almost fucking died! Somebody pull that son of a bitch over. He just drove through the emergency lane. Crazy as fuck. In a white semi-truck. Oh my God.
This is all planned.
Jesus
This is a
Christ. Holy fuck. Oh my God. Something's on fire. It blew up here, guys.
Paying your bills on
And
time
then there's
raises your
a
credit score.
commercial right here.
Wrong. In fact,
Always.
this is the first of 3 major credit.
Okay. And there's where the
Okay,
truck
we're
hit.
gonna have to go this way. Oh, fuck.
So,
Oh, shit. I hope I don't hit a fucking nail or something. Oh, goddamn. Fuck. Holy shit. What the fuck? Why was that car flying so fast? What a fucking idiot. Is that the one that just caught on fire? Jesus Christ. I don't know. There was already a cop down there. Jesus fuck. What the fuck?
so he's saying there was already he's like following a script. So it goes on for another 50 minutes or something. I'm not going to go on with it, but if you want to go watch the whole thing. But while he's roaming around there's like all these, as soon as he gets closer, there's like an explosion and another explosion, and it's like Hollywood. It's so fake. Okay. I forgot what else I was going to say about this. I'm coming to the end here. Okay, let's get rid of this one. Oh, I know what we're going to do. Okay, so I made all of them clear to have some space to do this. We're going to flip really fast. We're going to take our dangling guy. Look at him, I love dangling. We're going to put him over here. You have to put him where the circle is. Just really quickly, if I have time. At this point, a lot of times where are we going, babies? Which way are we heading? Let's get over on the 70. We're on the 40. What the hell? Okay. I love Google Maps. Let's come on down here. Come on. Okay. So, we've just been coming downhill forever. Okay. Coming downhill. This guy's doing 100 here, at least, probably. Not at least. He's doing 100. Oops. Let's back up. think I just saw the sign that said golden. Is that me? Okay, maybe not. So you just, oh, here it is. Let's see what that sign says. It does say golden. Am I right? Golden. Okay. There's golden. There it is. 40 East. Okay. So he's going to come around this curve, and it doesn't look very, like a very sharp curve down here, but you're doing 80 to 100. You have no brakes. It's gonna be a sharp turn for you. It's gonna be hard. Do you see the turn down here? I don't know you're gonna be able to do that without the whole truck tipping over or going over the edge. Like you get these, you're turning right, people. You're turning left, I mean. There's a turn here. You're supposed to be doing 40, not 80. Anyway, if he survives this turn, which I don't know, you have to do the physics. Somebody has to actually try this, but I don't think you can do that without the truck crashing. So you see, this is where we are down here, and we're here. God, I love Google, our little man. And then here's the other thing, coming around this corner. Look at the traffic. How is he not crashing into them? If he's doing 80, he can't weave as much as you think in a big old truck. He might come way over here to the right really fast or something, but you're gonna swerve, you're gonna hit something. You're gonna hit the wall, you're gonna hit this. You can't start swerving with a big old 70,000-pound truck doing 80 miles an hour. You're gonna hit whatever's in front of you. You're not gonna be able to swerve in and out of traffic. So that's assuming he even made it down the mountain without hitting anybody. And it's just not believable. This story is not believable. I'm sorry. So let's just keep going here. He's hitting this stuff. And here's the other point I'm making. That we're just traveling. Now we're going to go 4 miles before he hits anybody up there. But where are the witnesses for all these cars? If I am in a car and I'm doing 45 and a truck passes me doing 80 without brakes, I'm going to be filing a report. Or the lawyers or the police, they're going to say anybody who saw this, or even if they didn't ask for it, there's going to be people online, there's going to be everybody. They're going to witness statements. Nobody saw this truck except for that one fake video that you'll see where he's swerving, and then it's just a setup. It's a setup to try to get money for more signs and more exits or whatever it is. It's all sort of fake. Trump is on this though. I think it helped them blow a hole in and not only Boston Market, which was right there. I mean, he didn't even know this, but I said, look, there's all this shit going on. He's probably the one responsible for Boston Market going under is Trump after this stuff. 2000 took him 5 years, but he's on it. Okay, so we're gonna keep going. Tra la 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 la. I'm just showing you. And Google tends to drive their trucks when there's no traffic or less traffic. This was at 4:30 p.m. I think. There was a lot more traffic than this even. But even at this traffic, he's not going to be able to swerve by all these cars. Not doing 80. Also, the other thing that happened was, right when we came around that turn, it was the bottom of the hill. This levels out a little bit. It still has a little bit of a slope, but I don't believe you can maintain 80 miles an hour for 4 miles with this slope. Maybe you can. But that's the other thing, is he went 4 miles, and the estimated speed when he was zooming by that one guy, I think they say it was like 80. I don't think he could be doing 80 all the way that far. They go to slow down by now. But I tried it in my truck, and it does. You keep your speed, but I don't know. I think I was slowed down. It was hard for me to judge, and I'll tell you why. Because there was traffic. I couldn't just maintain my speed without braking, is what I'm saying. So I had a hard time doing this because I was doing it. I think it wasn't quite 4 o'clock. I think it was like 3 o'clock or something. but I couldn't test it because it was impossible for me to swerve in between cars without hitting somebody without putting on the brakes. So he would have hit somebody. He would have hit somebody or gone off the side or something. There's no way this happened the way they're saying. I'm just showing you the distance you had to travel. Hold on. Okay. Let's go, baby. There are other ways you could do this. Like I can move him this way. Watch. Where am I trying to go? Chick-fil-A. He's way up here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to go a lot faster. But I'm just showing you. We're going to do this. See how you can go a lot faster just by clicking down here? Okay. Oh, shoot. Sorry. Where am I going? Oops, I'm on the wrong side. It's okay. Look how far. I'm going still way up here. I mean, he went 4 miles. Sorry. Okay, let's just stay on the highway here now. Okay. So, here we go. Oh, shit. Get on the highway. Why am I off the highway? There we go. Too many lanes. I just love the way I could do this, though. United Artists. Yeah, there's a United Artists right over there. They did it so that... I think this is the exit. Nope. There's where the accident occurred. We gotta back up, people. That's where the accident occurred. And we just went past the exit. Oops, sorry, United Artists. You can see the United Artists Theater in the guy's background. Come on. There it is. So, back up. I just want to show the sign that was in the video. I think that's it. Okay, so here it was. So when I showed that video and you saw that sign and over that white truck, it said Denver West, Colorado Mills Park. Here's that sign right here. That was 4 miles ago. Look how far he went, doing 80 without hitting another car. So he zoomed up here and then right under the bridge he hit somebody. But he's like, oh, there was another truck parked in the whatever, and you know, it's just all fake. So anyway, this is this story of the truck, and they all know, if you're a young Hispanic male, every Hispanic male hates Gorsuch from this. Now, Gorsuch had nothing to do with this, but he's from Colorado and he's a white male, and white supremacists gave this guy a 100-year sentence for killing 4 people. And the jury probably, the trial, if it went correctly, said this guy, it's just very fishy. It's very fishy what happened. So, I don't know. But since then, they commuted his sentence to 10 years or something like that. It got very political and everything. But Colorado is now racist, and anybody coming from Colorado is a racist, white supremacist. That's how that worked, and that was the goal. Kill 4 people. That's not bad for only 4 people dying, according to the fucking Nazis. Okay. So Boston Market. Oh, that's it. I'm gonna end it because I had some house cleaning to do, but I'm gonna do house cleaning maybe before the next video. Nope, I'm gonna do house cleaning right now. I'm gonna tack it on the end before this runs out. That's fine because I want to just clear the air. So when I did my video on my last video, when I went through the history of the world, I talk about sex at the end. It's just sex stuff, okay? Because it's related to the work I want to do on romantic comedies. So on my list of top 66 romantic comedies is one called Two Night Stand. And all I have to do, maybe I'll do it tonight. I just want to do a little bit of romantic comedy stuff. But all I have to do is watch it to see if there's any smoking in it. I don't think there's any at all. And watch it for other reasons, I guess. But if I recall, they had a very, very frank discussion about sex. Like there was a one night stand. They got snowed in, and they had to stay 2 nights together. But they learned a lot. They were very frank because they said, we're never going to see each other again. Let's try it again and let's do it right. And they were really open about various stuff, and that's what I liked about it. But and the oral sex part, she was saying, where do you guys learn how to try to do the alphabet with your tongue on my clitoris? What is that about? And I know what she's talking about because I remember reading about this, like try the alphabet or something. And she's going, no. And then I forget, I'll have to go back and watch. But she was on the right track at least. But they were still a little bit off. And any romantic comedy, I swear, I'm going to write one and they have a frank discussion. It is going to talk about the female ejaculation. It's going to talk about how after she has an orgasm, the clitoris is extremely sensitive. And if you want to do multiple orgasms, it's very difficult with light touch. The method I showed you with the side to side, you can have multiple orgasms very easily that way. But I would do it with her at first and then try it on your own with her, like try to do it without her helping you. But you have to talk about it a lot. But you could easily have 5-10 orgasms this way, one after the other, because you're right there and you can't do it with the other. If you come the first time that way, but then the clitoris is very sensitive, but you can't touch the clitoris lightly is what I'm saying. It has to be a firm. If you touch it lightly, it's too sensitive. But if you're very adept at doing this, or she does it with your hand and shows you how to do it so that it's not sensitive, you have to press kind of firmly and then do the side to side again, and within 10 seconds she'll come again. And you can. Now I'm not saying you have to do this every single time or whatever. It's just okay. Today we're gonna try a record for the multiple. She'll get tired or whatever, but you could do that's how you do multiple orgasms. Okay, she's on a plateau, and it just goes on and on and on if you do it right that way. But it has to be side to side. You can't do multiple orgasms with the you can't. You can, I guess. I don't know. With the oral sex, because the tongue doesn't press. It's not firm enough, and it's too sensitive. She's not gonna like that anyway. So, but they were very frank, is what I'm saying. And the other thing she said was, why? And I think when she said the alphabet, I think what she was talking about was when he's trying to spell letters, he's going side to side. When that's not, they want the up and down. Like just do L, do small L, up and down, up and down, up and down. When all else fails, just do the same thing. And then you get this idea you have to do variety. I mean, maybe, but not really, and especially not right when she's almost ready to come. Is when you just keep doing what you're doing and don't try to change it up. I think she says that to him, but you need to watch that movie. It's called Two Night Stand, and it's where I'm heading. I'm trying to head to romantic comedies that really openly do the non-gay version of what sex should be. That's all. and the female. Anyway, that's related to the romantic comedy stuff. There's a lot of stuff related to the Bible stuff, but I'm tired. We're gonna end it. I had some other stuff. I think we'll do another house cleaning whenever I do another video. Okay, bye. Living my best life. Everything's gonna be okay. What am I forgetting? Did I make the point that this is related to Paris, right? Let's do that one more time. Mitt Romney, tobacco swamp and religion swamp with the Mormons. Adam Schiff, tobacco swamp and religion swamp with being Jewish, and also a history of doing false flag attacks in Paris with mass shootings, false flag to blame Islam for it. Twice he did it also in San Bernardino, with the two FBI heroes that were close to uncovering all his fraud with welfare fraud. It's all based in, it's probably Dollar General stuff too. And now he wants to be our senator. I mean, this guy is just, oh my God. Anyway, Adam Schiff, gay as gay can be. So is Mitt Romney. Oh, by the way, did I mention that? Mitt Romney and Adam Schiff, both gay. So that's that. Tobacco swamp, gay Nazi assholes. And they're going to try something. Oh, the guy from Boston, George Michel, I can't tell. I don't think so, because I have a hard time with foreign accents. I don't think he was gay, but he definitely speaks French. He's definitely a non-gay dumbass moron, but if he got taken in, he's definitely tobacco swamp. With his little company here, probably had a lot of warehouses. He had to be aware of this. Alright, so Adam Schiff, Mitt Romney, George Michel, and Sheena Easton and her writer know, not in a bad way, they know something and they're in danger. And we're going to look for Catholics priests who smoke cigarettes in England. Or Catholic priests who smoke cigarettes anywhere. Okay, living my best life. Hang in there, everybody. Everything's going to be okay. Hang in there. Living my best life. Onward, Christian soldiers who aren't Christian anymore, and Godspeed to everybody coming out the other side of this war to end all wars. In one piece, that's PEACE and PIECE. We'll go solve today's Wordle finally. What time is it? 8 o'clock. I have 3 days off, so I'm going to try to, 3 days off. Yay. Okay, bye. How do we end it? There it is. Bye.